So I raise the mutining, and I swoosh the scene. Hello, chat. Welcome to the Boxing Day special. Ironically, we've already done Battle and Boxer. You voted for another punchy fire archetype, chat. And so, we're here at the other one, because this is a poll result. It's Fire Fist. The Fists of Fires. Which is going to be funny. So, hey, I didn't know this because it's something that's completely lost in translation to English. But in Japanese, all of the Fire Fist guys are references to the heroes, the 108 Stars of Destiny from the Water Margin.
Oh, does that mean we have, do we possibly have an NSYNC somewhere among this?
Yeah, there'd be some stuff.
Yeah.
So the way their names work in the OCG is they are a portmanteau of the Japanese way you write that character's name, because we can't possibly make this any less confusing, and an animal. So the TCG probably did the smart decision and just did the animal part.
Yeah, because they were Flame Star.
Yes, they were the Flame Stars. I put this as the description of the stream. I do not actually know if then Fire Fist is supposed to be ironic, because it's the Water Margin and they are the Fire Fists. It's weird. But this is going to be another one of those funny cases where this is a deck that probably some of you have heard of, because while this is, just independently, this was a core set archetype, though it is, I believe, in one of the Zexal-related mangas from that time period. It is well, okay. It started as an Xyz deck. Somewhere around Fist of the Gadgets. Oh my god, YouTube, shut up. Chat, please type that you can hear us so YouTube shuts up about not hearing us. It's been like 2 minutes since I've had the audio unmuted and the bars are going, but it's yelling at me. Anyway, I was going to joke about it being an Xyz archetype, but somewhere around Fist of the Gadgets in the Link era, we decided that this is one of those... What do we even call decks that have, like, every extra deck type?
We just call it a toolbox, because
yeah.
At some point they decided, what if we just gave this deck everything? We'll give it a fusion, we'll give it a ritual monster.
Yeah,
we'll give it a link monster.
It was already a hybrid of Xyz and Synchro. Both of those came out relatively early in its lifespan, but at some point Konami was just like, man, there's a lot of these guys. We could literally do anything. We can do whatever.
We can do anything.
Yeah, so they did, and Vesper is correct. There is, I believe, exactly one ritual and exactly one fusion monster later.
Yeah, there's 2 links, there's a ritual monster, a fusion monster, 2 synchros, 3 Xyz. That looks like to be it.
Yes. But yeah, so, like, they went everywhere. And, spoilers, but probably not spoilers for those of you in the know, this was what we call a good deck. Basically, since it came out early 2013, almost at 2023, yep, missed by 10 years. But since it basically came out in that time period, it was on the list, specifically the rabbit version, when you crossbreeded it with the Dino Rabbit style engine.
Yeah, but taking a quick glance through some top deck formulators and graphers, it was like the moment it hit, like 2013, and for like a good two years, it was always...
Yeah, I've got Yu-Gi-Oh! Top Decks pulled up, and I'm just scrolling, like, it was live all through 2013 in many variations. It started as, pure Fire Fists, got some Fire Fist Rabbit variants, and then evolved into 4-axis Fire Fist, just playing, rank 4 good stuff.
Yeah.
And just more support made it pure, and it lasted, once again, just scrolling up, all the way until 2014.
And then for some reason, 2 years later, at the end of 2016, some guy went, I'm gonna play Lightsworn Fire.
Yeah, some absolute mad lad. Sadly, their legacy support, which was in Fist of the Gadgets in 2019, did not bring them over the top. They have not come back since then. I'm not sure if you could run them now, maybe as part of another one. Unfortunately, I feel like Fire Fists were probably hurt by the cover card you were seeing right now. The fact that Tenki is a card that is ludicrously abusable in lots of decks, including another Xyz Toolbox deck that was very popular around the time period that Fire Fist got new support. You may have heard of it. By the way, hey, you know, in about a week it's going to be... Well, I don't actually know when the Chinese New Year starts exactly, but it's Year of the Dragon next. So get all your Dragon jokes out now. But yeah,
the Big Tenki, he's the card is really good and obscenely generic.
Yeah, it's just they printed Rhoda for Beast Warriors on a continuous card, which also does other things. It, you know, starts modulating attack by a tiny amount, and for Fire Fists, it counts as fire formations. I'll probably pull up the fire formations that are important, but there's already so many of these guys. There's so many.
I just looking up fire formation. Lists 37 cards that name check it.
Yeah, so
including the probably 10 fire formation spells and traps.
Yeah, there's 10 to 12 of them, so we will not probably be going down the line and doing those, but I'll pull up the card art on a couple that matter, because unfortunately there are only a few that really matter. Like if you're playing Fire Fist, you know, you might run one or two of a couple of them just for the tech, but it's one of those things where somebody at Konami has a clear theme, and they're just trucking along, and, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes we're just like, well, shit, now we need a purple one.
Well, and I mean, hey, you'll be surprised to hear there's probably going to be an Omni somewhere in those fire formations.
Yeah, the Fire Fist has been around long enough that we realized archetypes get Omnis. Also, if anybody listening at home is curious, we are currently playing 2-hour-long Stormblood Best Mix music.
I felt it was appropriate. Tugane.
Yeah. But all right, let's start to get into the business, because we'll be here for a while. Fortunately, talking about the card art, at least, probably shouldn't take us too long. There's going to be a lot of, this is a guy. A man. But you are going to notice pretty quickly, chat, there's going to be a trend with these guys. Like I said, they are, you know, they've got their names in the OCG kind of mashed up with animal names. So we're going to start with all the ones you'd expect. Bear, dragon, snake. And then after the first wave of support in Cosmo Blazer, we immediately are like, shit, we ran out of all the obvious animals.
Well, and what's like you mentioned it earlier, what's really funny is looking on the wiki page for Fire Fist, there's no actual way for them to really label which monster is which among the grid they've decided to organize it.
Yes, the grid is a little insane, but we're gonna start. So I have actually grouped them by like rough waves of support. We're gonna start alphabetically with this guy. It's Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Bear. I will usually probably be shortening these to Fire Fist Bear, etc. In Japanese, An Ensei Yushi Dark Flame Star Zhongji. He is a guy.
He's a guy with a fire sword.
His sword is sheathed, but his sheath is on fire. Also, his hat is on fire.
And he's enveloped by a giant flaming bear.
Yeah.
That looks more like a tiger than a bear to me, but...
Oh, we'll get to tiger.
I mean, it's one of those things, right, where it's like, have you seen, you know, a Chinese temple lion? There's a reason why in the West they're called foo dogs, because most of us are like, that's not a fucking lion. When was the last time you guys saw a lion? And they'd be like, I don't know, like 1,000 years ago?
True.
That said, by the way, these guys are all Beast Warriors and all fire. I thought that was alluded to earlier with Tenki, but I will clarify. These guys are an all Beast Warrior deck. They are all fires. Some of them are rekindling targets.
They will be of varying levels, but they will all be Fire Beast Warrior lads.
So, obviously, while these guys are more humanoid than some, though not as bad as the Ancient Warriors, who are also all Beast Warriors, just because we can't we could not build a Link era warrior toolbox deck. Now that Isolde has finally gone to the prison she justly deserves, maybe we can print warriors that aren't noble knights again, but or technically, you know, infer-noble knights these days. But yeah, like there have been times when Yu-Gi-Oh has been like, warrior decks, nope, can't do that. Dragons, no. Spellcasters,
eventually we'll get like the 7th dragon archetype or typing.
Yeah, worms are already really stacked. Like, there are a lot of good archetypes in Warrior.
Like, eventually we'll make Sea Serpents broken.
The problem with Sea Serpent is, and I know we've discussed about this in the past, is the way water deck works is like, if you're a Sea Serpent and water, that also means there's like a bajillion fish and aqua cards you can play. Because it was just like, Konami was just like, we don't give a shit. Water's water, baby. But yeah, the notes about
Bear's
Bear
very
here.
good.
Yeah.
He's basic design, but for them setting the tone of what the archetype design is going to be, I like it. And while they, like always said, they are very humanoid, you can very clearly see what they're intending with the Beast Warrior aesthetic, with the giant animalistic shadow. I guess it's supposed to be their soul or their constellation.
And he's got like very slight markers of like bear-like ears on his helmet. He's got the thing where he's got the little clawed, you know, boots on. Kind of surprised he's not wearing like clawed gauntlets, but you know, he's Bear, so he's out there, you know, sun's out, guns out. Yeah.
Kind of took what I was gonna say. It's just kind of got the bear-like silhouette, but that's intentional.
Yes.
Yeah, so what's our friendly neighborhood bear? What's he do?
Well, sorry, because I get the art from the assets that are in Master Duel. I just glanced and it says that he's an SR in Master Duel. And I'm like, okay, so this guy's good.
Maybe.
Usually in Master Duel, they're like with big archetypes, they make sure to put all your good shit at high rarity. So Bear is one of the level 4 variety, part of the 4 axis. He's 1600 attack, 1200 defense, so not amazing stats, but oh yeah, no, Bear's good. His first effect is soft once per turn. You can, when you inflict battle damage, you can set a fire formation spell directly from your deck. And then another second soft once per turn. You can set a face-up fire formation spell trap you control to the grave, target a monster on the field, destroy it. So he, if you go to battle, he can set directly from deck. Not that, you know, we were worrying about Ash Blossom in, you know, 2013, but it is good future-proofing. Set from deck is very hard to stop. And more importantly, you can ditch one of your fire formations to just pop a monster.
And notice that because it says spell, it's a card you can immediately activate in main phase 2 to then use for his effect.
Yeah, so like he's got a lot of opportunity. Probably a little slow with the battle damage effect these days, but
he's a bit slow, but he was the staple Fire Fist card. No matter what brew you were playing, you always played Bear. Like he was the archetype's. Like, Tenki is the archetype's Tenki. This is the second Tenki you played because he gets you more Tenki.
Yeah, he fetches Tenki, or he fetches, we'll probably talk about it later, but Tensu, which is your double summon.
Tensu...
Essentially, it's like, you're not running Bear? What are you, stupid?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for us, let me check his rarity. Yeah, it's because if we weren't running Bear, it's because he was an Ultra.
Yep.
He was
either had to be Dallas or
part.
Axe to be able to be lucky enough to get that.
I think I may have scraped together one Bear in my time.
I don't know.
All right, so we're immediately going to get a little freaky with this, because alphabetically next is Dragon. Or in the OCG, BNC. Ryushishin. Minute Flame Star. At least I think that's Minute. It might be Minute Flame Star. Longshijin. He has a lot of
Dragon
dragons.
gets a little weird with the Beast Warrior typing right away. We'll just go with that.
Yeah. No. He very much looks like a normal guy. He has horns on his hat, I guess, and he has fire coming out of his spear. Other than that, this is literally just a man.
I know it's not productive, but he just looks like this is like the intro shot of a boss in Wulong or something.
Actually, yeah,
I mean,
a lot of these guys probably
can
are
see
posing
that.
for their boss fights.
I was about to say, this guy looks like he's from Saint Seiya.
That
Yes,
reveal.
that also is definitely an aesthetic these guys have, which honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Saint Seiya also has some water margin undertones, but I don't know every bit of Saint Seiya, so I'm sure there's some
Neither do I.
overlap.
Yeah.
Look, I watched Knights of the Zodiac a little bit as a kid. That's all I know about Saint Seiya.
By the
I
way,
will
I
one
have not
day
yet
watch all
made
of it,
the
like I
official
watch
Fail
all the videos.
Portrayal drinking game, but when you say a monster is a Digimon or is a Saint Seiya, that's definitely going on the list. Because
It'd just be
we
like-
go there a lot, because that's
Do we,
they're
Or
very
is a
iconic.
Kamen Rider enemy / suit.
Yeah.
like, do we just do it? It's a Toku. It's a Toku reference. Drink is it's one of the spots in the bingo card, or is it?
Yeah,
be multiple
probably.
different
No,
spots?
definitely.
I
No,
wish
I
people
would keep
would-
Toku as
People
one.
would die if it was multiple spots.
Getting a
It's a
getting
bingo
getting a
card,
more high quality look at his art, I do. As much as he is just a normal man, I like the aesthetic that the dragon is like a soul emanating from his weapon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it looks
I-
really
and you
it
can-
looks really cool and clean.
And
Also,
as weird
they-
as it is, I don't appreciate the color of his undersuit, but I do like the shade of green his armor has.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. His armor
Okay.
being green with kind of the reddish orange highlights is good. He does just kind of look like he's wearing some normal like gray green pants underneath.
Yeah,
a
he's
little too subtle.
He's just got some slacks beneath his armor.
It's like the gold contrasts well with the green, but I think that's a kind of a Chinese material.
It's also
his
pretty
armor
classic
showed up on his
complementing color.
pajamas.
Yeah, it's just I'm gonna suspect the artist or the colorist probably wasn't expecting you to look at his pants this closely.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Omega, another spot on the bingo card. It's a video game reference to a video game.
Yeah. Might have to narrow that down to like a Dark Souls or Final Fantasy, but yeah. All right, let's talk about what Dragon does. Dragon is another 4. He's got 1800 attack, 400 defense, so not quite rekindleable. But Fire's another one of your really good setup cards because he, by the way, I think almost all of these guys in their initial wave are soft once per turn, so God, help you if you get multiples on the field. Dragon says, once per turn, if you activate a Fire Formation spell trap, except during the damage step, you can immediately set a Fire Formation trap from your deck. Once per turn, you can send 2 face-up Fire Formation spell traps you control to the graveyard. Target a Fire Fist in your graveyard, except Dragon, special summon it. So, Dragon Reborns for the cost of going, -1. Also, whenever you activate a Fire Formation, you immediately get to fish out another Fire Formation trap from your deck, and it sets it, which can be handy, on your turn. If you, normal Dragon, activate a Tenki or a Tensu, you can then be like, hey, and I'm just going to set one of my traps from my deck.
Well, I will say one thing. You may be going -1 in practice. In theory, with how Fire Fist can pop off,
Yeah.
this -1 will +5 you, probably.
Yeah, that's definitely
Once you set up, yeah.
an ask. Because, again, this guy is a 4. Presumably, you are going to grab another 4, and you are going to immediately overlay. Or you could
Or
grab
you're
a
gonna grab
Tuna.
another card that will get you more Fire Formations to do more
Yeah.
combos.
Oh, and I'm sure that they have a... I don't remember which one that is, because there are so many of
It's
them, but
Rooster.
I'm pretty sure they've got a Stratos in this archetype somewhere.
Rooster is the fire. Rooster is the Fire Formation. Stratos.
Yeah, it's
On
Rooster.
special summon.
Okay, all right. Well, okay. Sorry, I'm looking at our next guy, and I'm like, all right, hold on, I have some notes. So this is Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Gorilla. Now, chat, can you tell me what's wrong with this picture?
Looks like Wukong.
I mean, that's probably what we're going for, but that's not what's wrong with this picture.
He's got a monkey tail.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check the trivia, but that's not a gorilla.
Is it meant to be ape, not actually gorilla?
So, I mean,
I-
the
I like his weapon. I don't
Yeah.
like the look of this man.
it seems like, I'm gonna guess, it seems like the TCG translators had a kind of a more
Yeah, it is
4
just
tier.
supposed to be 8, which I guess is more
Yeah, he is
generic.
Yo Ensei Ensho, Brave Flame Star Yuan Sheng, and the character in his OCG name is for monkey, but his aura is very clearly some kind of great ape. So I feel like no
An
matter
O's
what you
own.
did,
If you will.
yeah, no matter what you
Yep.
did, the translation was fucked, because if you called him monkey,
Yeah.
then it would be like, but that's a gorilla. But you call him
What you don't
gorilla, and you're
understand
like, but it's
is
a
that
monkey.
his father was a brilliant scientist.
Brilliant scientist.
Like, we made the joke. Even Dragon Ball got a little fucky with
Yeah.
ape, monkey. It's fun translations of words that just.
I mean,
the same
honestly,
thing.
in Dragon Ball, they probably call it Great Ape as a translation of Ozaru because of the mouth flaps.
Yeah.
Because saying giant monkey is like 3 syllables.
Jeez.
And
lucky
giant
with,
monkey just makes you think of King Kong.
Sorry, not lucky. I make it like slightly echoed there with Great Ape.
That's my great power. But yeah, other than the naming confusion, this guy is perfectly normal. Honestly, though his tail does look like cybernetic, the fact that he has a tail and he's got kind of the big, bushy Monkey King beard, once again makes the Beast Warrior part a little more direct.
The one thing I'm bothered by this pose is that he's clearly got he's got a pole arm. He's holding it behind his back, and his other arm is just freewheeling. Like it doesn't look like there's momentum from how the pole arm is positioned.
He's trying to wield his pole arm as if he was fucking Star Killer from The Force Unleashed.
I mean, there are polearm forms where you would do like a low grip like that, but Vesper is right in that would be like as part of like a transition behind your back. I think he's trying to show off, but it's a little weird.
For the static pose, it works, but you look at it long enough, and you kind of you see the flaws in how he is exactly positioned. But
also, I don't know if that's supposed to be like a motion thing or what, but it looks like the artist had realized like halfway through drawing the spear, like, oh shit, his arm's down here. We gotta bend that a little.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Because polearms are flexible, but again in a static shot, it looks a little wrong. It's just like, oops, we left some things a little loosey goosey. But Gorilla is another 4. He's 16, 1,000, so very similar stats to Bear. Once per turn, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can set a spell directly from deck. Once per turn, you can send a face-up fire formation spell trap to the graveyard, target a spell trap on the field, destroy it. So Gorilla is basically your spell trap version of Bear.
Yeah, he was played. He was played half about as much as Bear. Like depended on the tournament, and
yeah.
He was probably thrown in side decks, but yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah. So his set effect kicks in when you destroy by battle as opposed to deal damage. And he gets to pop a spell trap. So it's useful, but it's definitely one of those things where like if you were gonna start sideboarding some, I would aim towards that because you never know when the spell trap part is gonna be important. Our next one is Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Hawk, or in the OCG, ANC Hokue, Great Flame Star Hawk Wrong. I'll type that for you, chat, how it's spelled.
I don't know what it is, but I don't like how his face is.
So this is our first attempt to draw a soft boy.
Yeah.
And he's not really that soft.
I think it's the shading or something. It's
Yeah.
it's a bit too.
I think the
realistic
artist is dealing with the fact that there realistically are multiple light sources in this because he's shooting an arrow of flame in front of him, but also there is honestly a pretty rad flaming hawk silhouette behind him. So like,
yeah,
the lighting is really goofed. Other than that, go ahead.
If anyone here has ever played like Dynasty Warriors 3 or 4, like the old ones, and saw how they tried to do pretty boys, he gives that energy of like, oh, they
PS2 era
tried.
pretty boy.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, this is the PS3 era in real life, but yeah.
It reminds me of it reminds me of like Drifters, where it's like archer characters. There is archer characters in that series where they were very effeminate because they were just not very brawny.
Even though you do need a lot of upper body strength to use a bow correctly. Also, birds have a lot of upper body strength. Where do you think wings are connected to?
Their ass.
Sorry, I jimmed the invisible camera, and then I'm just gonna move on, but I can't. I gotta
I
telegraph
will
that a little.
say I
Good.
do like the what's the asymmetric archer armor. It does look
Yeah.
fairly proper with how it's supposed to look.
Yeah,
too.
the breastplate to cover where the bowstring would cross. I also am not like, it's a little silly, but I'm not opposed to his kind of like, Featherman style like wing cape and back half of his belt there. Like, it's a good look for trying to make this guy look like a hawk, especially because one, Yu-Gi-Oh has this thing where winged beasts are different from beast warriors, but we're still trying out here to give him kind of like that appearance to like let it all come together. He's got a little bird on his hat.
The aesthetic through line is still fitting within the rest of the Fire Fist. He does not stand out, despite very clearly being a bird amongst a bunch of beasts.
Looks like he belongs. So Hawk is our first.
Winged beast.
Yeah, Hawk is our first level 3. He's got 200 attack, 1500 defense. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card by battle or card effect, you can set a Fire Formation spell card directly from your deck. While you control a Fire Formation spell or trap card, all Fire Fist monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. So this guy can be a 2K wall. He can be a 2K defender if you already have a formation up. And then if he's actually blown up, you get to plus off it. You go, +0 basically. So again, probably way too slow for this day and age, especially because it's only by your opponent's card effect.
Even when first designed, he was a bit unwieldy, but it's a fun card design. They try things. Yeah. It's neat.
And there are definitely I would think that normally, while there are some variants of this deck that would go first, I feel like Fire Fist leans more towards the blind seconding style.
Yeah,
because you're gonna want your battle phase for a lot of stuff. So having Hawk as like an option for when your opponent is like, okay, I'm wise to your tricks, you go first, so you can be like, okay, I'll set some blockers up just in case. Again, a little slow for now and a little janky even back in the day, but like you said, appreciate the game design. I like when Konami gets to design lots of cards for an archetype because yes, it means you get some stinkers, but usually it means you get some funny ideas too, as opposed to sometimes it feels like World Premiere archetypes are like, well, we can only print exactly 10 cards, so here's, 10 of the cards you need to do anything. You'll get 10 more cards in 6 months.
Yeah, like you're gonna end up with cards that won't be played in the best brew of the deck, but by no means is Hawk a bad card for the archetype.
All right. Now I think we're going to look at probably our most Just a Guy art so far. This is Raven.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, other than the fact that he has a little bit of kind of like the feather cloak thing going on, which is a little asymmetrical too, which is nice. He is absolutely just a guy.
He's just a guy. He looks fine. I'm not sure what's supposed to be happening with his little bandolier where it looks like Raven. His Raven is it's a sling.
Yeah, I was about to say. So he's wielding a sling, and his bird is passing him the ammunition. I guess it's a cute little nod. I don't know how practical that's gonna be. Hawk out here shooting flaming arrows and stuff. But
I mean, hey, slings are still quite effective in even in medieval era,
especially considering half these guys are not wearing helmets.
Yeah.
But yeah, Raven, mostly just a man.
What is a man?
I appreciate the sling. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even know this was a sling. My eyes were traveling up the design as I was trying to parse what was happening with his little bandolier.
The bird has a rock in its mouth.
Yeah, well, they just caught the rock. Yeah.
That.
It's one of those things where because of there's the stream. Is that actually no? I think it's all supposed to be one stream of fire, but because it goes behind his back, this little tail is very weirdly connected to the Raven part.
And it looks like it's also supposed to maybe perched on his shoulders.
Yeah, it's also sitting on his shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah, the perspective gets a little fucky, but it's fine. It looks nice. Fire Fist do not have many bad arts among their cast. They're mostly just guys.
His OCG name is Sho Ensei Seivun. Agile Flamestar, Qingwen. Yes, with a V-E-N, because it's Raven. Again, the portmanteaus are very weird. So Raven is another... I don't know if we're going to stick to this theme consistently, but I believe their starting is like, okay, so birds are 3s. We've got this. I don't remember if it stays consistent that way, but they're trying.
We will get one who is most certainly not a bird, who is a 3.
Yeah. So Raven is once again 200 attack, 1800 defense, which is not the best you can do for a 3-star, but pretty decent. And Raven is much similar to how Bear and Gorilla work. I almost said Boar. Nope, we're not to that guy yet.
Or a different one.
Different man.
Then there's Caribou.
But Raven is very much kind of like the flip side of Hawk. And in fact, I'm pretty sure it's Hawk and Raven on the tanky card art. But if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can set a Fire Formation spell directly from your deck. Fire Formation spell traps you control can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So, got a protection effect, and in the Link era, once these guys actually get their in-archetype links, has a pretty good effect. Unlike Hawk requiring your opponent to blow it up, any time you get this off the field, if you sink it away, if you link it away, unfortunately it says from field to grave, so Xyz material discarding does not work, but still, this is a card that has arguably aged better with time.
And I zoned out for half a second. I don't know if you already said this. Not once per turn.
Yes, no, not a once per turn at all. So if you can loop this guy, that's just free Fire Formation spells. And once again, they are spells, not the traps, so you can just keep flipping.
I believe the only case of setting spells from deck, if they are quick plays, they cannot be activated on the turn.
Yes, because quick plays have that special trap setting style thing.
Never mind. There are no quick play. There are no quick play Fire Formation. Doesn't matter.
No. Yeah.
Ignore me.
All right, so now I know we said there's not any bad arts, and I don't know if this guy's art is bad, but
did I miss
Snake
one?
is a special little guy.
Oh, I've never seen Snake. Oh, look at this jackass.
Well, he's Snake.
He is very spindly, which I think is very fitting.
Yeah, very noodly. It definitely needs to eat a fucking sandwich.
Actually, I think this guy can dislocate all of his bones.
Probably, yeah.
He probably could. I would not doubt it. I also did look at the Tenki, and that is definitely Hawk and Raven.
Okay, yeah. I thought it was. But yeah, I mean, obviously, again, these cards first came out in 2013. The oeuvre, the cultural zeitgeist, had experienced Naruto at this point. So I think I can safely say this guy's an Orochimaru-ass looking ass.
I was gonna say the same exact thing.
No,
I just didn't want to say it.
It's the eyes, and I think he's got slit pupils, and he's very pale and very noodly.
And like very tight, but like obviously very like non-directional muscle on his limbs.
Yeah,
so,
he's just kind of goopy.
We're a bit too late to get to this point, but I pulled up the trivia page on Snake, and apparently the specific kanji on Snake is masculinity.
Yeah, his name in the OCG is Yuensei Surenin. Majestic Flamestar Snailin. Snailin, everybody. We got some funny names.
I still have some of the things pulled up. Let's just see what it doesn't actually say on the others. Gorilla's was bravery. Doesn't say anything for Bear.
Bear might be incomplete. Like they're not always fully visible. But yeah. This guy also really needs to trim his nails. I say that as a person. I am bad about trimming my nails, but I don't wield polearms.
This is the guy who turned out to be evil and somehow no one saw coming, I guess.
Yeah.
Or he's actually the one that never actually doesn't betray anyone, but everyone thought he was sketchy the whole time.
I mean, he's definitely the friend nobody likes, even if he doesn't betray the rest of the group. Like, this is that.
He's kind of the scummy one.
Yeah.
He's not going to betray you.
He just has that stinky vibe.
Yes. So, Snick is, we're back on our 4s. 1800 attack, 600 defense. Once per turn, if a Fire Formation spell trap card is sent to your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can immediately set a Fire Formation trap from your deck. Once per turn, if you control no other monsters, you can send up to, it's exactly two face-up Fire Formation spell trap cards you control the graveyard, draw a card. So, hey, those two effects can go together. Now, I don't I don't feel like Snake was played a lot.
He would have been like a weird one of at worst,
Yeah.
because controlling no other monsters is very bad for Fire Fist.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, obviously, I think that's why he has the draw effect. The idea is that, like, if you're left with oops, only snakes and, like, a shitload of fire formations, you're like, well, we better get ourselves out of here. But it's, you know, once again, it's technically a -1. You know, you're pitching 2 cards on the field. Actually, no, it's a +0 if you haven't used his first effect. They do go together, but, like, you have to set one of the trap cards, so you can't activate it that turn. So, you know, he's definitely a little weird as far as card advantage goes. I always like when Konami actually thinks ahead with archetypes and is like, oh shit, what do we do if you draw, like, 4 fire formations? Well, we'll print a guy to get you out of that situation. The problem is, what do I do if I drew one of my other, like, 10 guys who's not named Snake?
Yeah,
You know?
I forget the specific card we mentioned. Like with Eldritch, fun. It's a interesting mid game. It's a mid game concept, but it hinges all on perfect drawing sequencing.
Yeah.
It was the Adelantato, I believe, was the one we were discussing.
Yes, I
Similar
believe it was
concept.
Adelantato, yeah, because that's your big blowout, but you have to have burned through all your elixirs to do it.
I do appreciate the fucking what is it? The weapon he has, because like, what is it? It's similar to the type of thing people said Zhang Fei in Pyramids of the Three Kingdoms had.
It
Like
did
a-
directly reference it. Let me pull the trivia again.
What,
Yeah.
that Volge or whatever it's called?
It apparently is supposed to be an 8-foot long snake spear, is what it's in reference to. The character he's referencing, or some such.
Yeah, it's kind of a flame-patterned spear.
And
Yeah, it probably
I
was pretty
do kind of love the weird way the snake wraps around his leg, up his body, and around his arm in a very almost non-Euclidean way.
Yeah, no,
Does not make-
like, I joked about his art being bad. The art itself isn't bad on a technical level, it's just this guy looks like he should be catching fire
Emaciated?
because he's made of grease, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, the way it's drawn is very well.
You blow up his art, and you see a lot more that you'd never wanted to see in this.
God, I've only just now realized how fucking big around his thighs are.
Have you noticed, like,
Oh god, you're right. His thighs are twice as wide as his arms.
This guy.
have you
this
noticed
guy
that
has
one
back
of his
abs.
elbow pads doesn't quite fit because his arms are so thin?
Yeah, it's skinny. No, like, this is a great art actually, but it's funny.
This guy only does leg day, apparently.
Let's talk about another weird one. It's
Oh,
time
boy.
for Brotherhood of the Fire Fist. Spirit. Just Spirit. No animal.
Yeah, Spirit is just on fire.
In the OCG, this is Enseishi Choten, Flamestar Master Jiangtan.
Damn. Just gonna be just on main here and say, thought it was a woman. Thought it was a hot, muscular flame woman. I'll say it.
It does have
Opinion
kind of a
salad.
sleek silhouette, but no. The chest area is a little flat for that. We're gonna have. I have some things to bring up later when we talk about a certain card. But yeah, this guy, by the way, is named after a character who's in the Water Margin, but is not one of the 108 heroes. Hence why he has a slightly different name.
Yeah, it looks like we have 2 others who are in very similar situations.
Yeah.
Looking at our chart.
Yes. By the way, once again, chat, please go to Wikipedia and pull up the Fire Fist
I will
entry.
just throw it in the.
It might
in
need
the
fa-
chat
it might need
that you
fact
can look
checking.
at and realize what we mean by how incomprehensible this
Yeah,
chart is.
Many,
Throw it
many
into
times
chat
on
game
Fail
so
Portrayal,
people
we
see
have
it.
poked fun at the wiki charts of things.
But then
Um,
runs a stupid
I
one.
appreciate that someone went to all the effort of trying to assemble this, but, like, it very quickly gets, reaches cognito hazard levels as you're just looking at rows and rows and columns.
Yes. So there's some stuff to say about Spirit. I like it. I do
Yeah.
enjoy the dark, the purple, black.
Yeah,
Flame,
kind of like
like, it's-
smoky flame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark flames or
Yeah, I don't really have, I don't want to say no notes, but nothing's really sticking out too far. Like, there are a
It looks
couple
quite good.
parts where it gets a little, like, obscured, but when I look at it, it's one of those cases where if I look at it longer, I'm like, okay, no, that makes sense. Like, at first I was confused by this bit of, like, the tacet, down the skirt bit reaching down. I'm like, what's that? I'm like, no, wait, that's the other side. It's because we've got, smoky ankles.
We have perspective of its knee hiking up, and therefore the like ankle billowing smoke is blocking the rest of their leg and the tassel.
Also, again, really good use of the background dynamics, so that since there's no like animal aura, we can show the fucking light of heaven shining down on the fire and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a good.
Yeah, like for this being 50% fire as a design, it is surprisingly comprehensible.
Yeah.
Yes,
very well done.
We can see what's happening.
And so
but
this
yeah,
is our first. Go ahead.
Before we get too into the weeds, since we did want to bring it up, like we said this a little earlier, the chart on Yu-Gi-Oh fandom, whatever, the Yugipedia.
Yeah.
It's incomprehensible because the Fire Fist name is a Japanese name, and it does not really like it lists the animal that is what the card is named after, but that one is not the one you're looking at for the card name. Like I said, this reaches some cognito hazard levels.
Yeah, like I tried to look at it earlier, and I was just like, okay, this doesn't make any sense the way they've laid this out. I have no idea what card we're talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe if they could put pictures. But talking about the card we are looking at, Spirit. Spirit is our first tuna. So Spirit is a Beast Warrior 3 tuner. 500 attack, 200 defense. That's right, everybody. It's a tuner that you can rekindle. Konami knew what they were doing. Cannot be used as synchro material except for the synchro summon of a Beast Warrior monster. So not attribute locked, but type locked. I remember, by the way, in Prague, this got me to no end. I was looking for all the weirdest fucking Beast Warrior synchro shit you could get.
Well, hey Omega, have I got the spicy tech for you? Just transmodify Spirit into a better tuner.
That does work, but yeah. There's, and I believe I did actually see some of the transmodified versions of this deck got some tops back in the day, but yeah,
it was this has happened to be like one of the single deck that was able to use transmodify in a meta sense before it kind of fell off,
but also Spirit is one of your normals, because it says when this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 3, exactly, fire monster with 200 or less defense in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, but if you do, monsters you control can't attack for the rest of this turn except Beast Warriors. You can only use the effect of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Spirit once per turn. So,
and we can discuss which one it is. There are a few targets in archetype.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the order they came out, but there's the one. There's the big one. We'll get to when we get to.
Yeah. And also, obviously, like, the reason Spirit is a little restrictive, but at this point, we're deep in Zexal format in the Ixie era. So I think Konami was like, okay, we know what you animals are gonna do, so you can't turn this into Leviair, guys. You're not allowed. You can't make a big Leviathan dragon.
They did not want you to make Mirage Stallion with this card.
Well, that was also just good future proofing.
Yeah.
Speaking of a fire archetype named after lots of weird animals, I'm sure someday somebody will put forward Salad for a poll selection, and it will probably win, and we're going to have to talk about a lot of animals that are on fire.
We're going to have to bring up some anime archetypes. Anime archetypes never end.
I might just fall asleep.
It is very likely when Salad we put Salad in a poll, it'll have more cards to review at the time it gets voted on. Very likely.
But yes, so we'll grab the next one. Because what good is an archetype without some slightly big bungulies in your main deck, right? That's a thing every archetype needs, right?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't we?
So, Brother to the Fire Fist, Swallow. Please do not make any jokes about Swallow, because I think he will beat you up.
Oh, hey, it's Taishi C. From Dynasty Warriors. He's got the fucking 2 iron rods.
Yeah, and like was mentioned earlier, our first bird was on level 3, and they dropped, like, they I don't know if it was intended for there to be a theming around the levels, it gets dropped pretty quickly,
Yeah.
and we just kind of throw whatever's where.
He's got like, let's see, he's got like the 4 Deva armor with like a weird bottom half cape.
Yeah.
Look at
The,
his
the
fucking
cape,
shoulder
the long
pads.
cape part is to give him his bird, but yeah, he's got the big shoulder pads. Also got a big gorget. His neck is like double protected. Actually, no, I think it's triple protected. I think I can see a third line of armor, like his helmet or something, also goes down to his neck height. So like, you will not hit this man's neck.
It's a very bird shaped, yeah. It's like
Yeah, and he's got a
considering
bird-shaped
his
helmet, which is
face
good.
works out. He doesn't want to be like hit there.
I dig his WoW shoulder pads.
Yeah.
They can be goofy, but I do kind of like.
And I do want to
They
say,
at
I
least
I feel there's actually a
reasonable.
point to these.
it goes to the ensemble. Also, I do want to say, I think I like this color scheme. I mean, the
Yeah.
khaki parts are kind of whatever, but this kind of like almost bluish gray and the darker green for his like fire aura, it goes together pretty well.
He's got like 3 layers to stop people from hitting him in the head.
Yeah.
He
Honestly,
Yeah,
he's got a lot of layers everywhere.
The kanji on his armor appears to be authority.
Mhm.
His authority. Which
He
one
is Iense Hyunshaku, Prestige Flame Star Feianjo. So, yeah. So, hey, chat, this guy's a level 5. I'm pretty sure he was probably not played at the time he came out, and I do not think time has made him any better.
We will start reading his first line of text, and you will very clearly realize why he was not played.
Yeah, so his first effect is a summon condition, but you could special summon this card from your hand by sending 3 face-up fire formation spell trap cards you control to the graveyard.
3.
You got to go
A lot.
-2.
That's a lot. That's
Well,
a lot
once
for a
again,
level 5.
it's not as many as you think, because his next effect text is when this card is normaled or specialed, you can set a fire formation trap directly from your deck, but you're still going net -1. You are trading
the
3
other
cards for
problem
2
is-
cards.
To pull up the curtain a bit on the Fire Fist meta, you did not play many of the traps. You mostly you played the spell cards.
No, the
'cause-
the traps are much more situational,
yeah.
if I remember
The,
rightly.
the traps weren't bad, but the traps were far and away yeah. It's just
Like
much
I
more
mentioned
fitting.
earlier, usually you want to just go second with this deck anyway, so that you could attack for game or attack for more advantage. Your battle phase is important, which means that your trap cards are less relevant because they are not active until the turn after you're setting them. And so if you're already going second, like that's putting you behind a little. They can be worth it because they have the bigger attack modulation usually, but still, it's one of those things where like sending a lot of them just to get one is not super great. He, by the way, has a his normal or special effect is hopped. It is a hard once per turn. Also, by the way, face-up Beast Warrior monsters you control can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects, which is cute, but I feel like Konami clearly put way too high of a cost on that targeting protection.
Yeah, this Swallow is one of those cards where if it was 2/3, I'm sure this guy would have been broken.
Yes.
But they
or
they-
if
they
he
did
had
have
like
some
the magic
sense.
200 defense number,
Yeah.
you know, you'd be foolish barreling him into the graveyard to get his ass out. But you can only summon him from hand. Once again, I think this is similar to what they were trying with Snake's effect, right? To like, okay, what do you do if you draw oops all formations, you know? Well, guess what?
Well,
if one of those
yeah.
formations is tanky, you just search for whatever you fucking need, you know? If it's not tanky, you cry. Also, they have to be face up, by the way.
The other thing about just kind a journal thing about Fire Fist monsters, the problem with setting the Fire Formation trap cards is they're your shenanigan cards, and by setting them, you still have to reveal the card to the opponent. So
Yeah.
you are showing them the shenanigan they're going to get
Yeah.
shim-shammed by. They will not attack you if they see me set my Tensen. They're like,
It's
okay, I
like-
guess won't.
It's like your opponent being able to see, oh, you put down an infinite imperm in that area. It's like, well,
Yeah.
time to play around that. Also, but yeah, for guys in FP chat, I've just posted the picture of the Dicey Wars character this guy reminds me of.
He does look a lot like that, yeah. The color
Oh
scheme
yeah,
is different. but-
he's definitely getting that aesthetic.
But all right, it's
I
time.
wouldn't say plagiarized, but
It's time to
Same
enter
base.
the extra deck.
Yes.
Our first monster is Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Horse Prince.
Who is one of our other boys who is a water margin character, but not one of the 108 one of the is it constellations or just stars? I forget.
Stars. They're just the stars
Okay.
of destiny. So this is Horse Prince, as I mentioned before. It is in the OCG Enseiko Hoshin, Flamestar Marquis Hongshin.
This is the first time I've seen this card up close and realizing that he is like just straddling his horse and not actually riding it.
Yeah, he is doing
Yeah.
some trick riding right now, which is probably pretty impressive because his horse is made of dark flame.
Yes. He is riding a nightmare.
He's been on that Realm Reborn trial grind set, and he has gotten his mount.
You've heard of Nightmare Corrupted Ibli. He was the cooler Nightmare Rider Ibli.
Yeah. I do like that he also has kind of like a mane of flaming hair himself. Otherwise, I feel like his armor is kind of like generic to what the other guys are wearing. Like he's got kind of the toothy like cape.
Isn't this... Oh, hold on, I need to look up a character. I know what this character looks like.
This is honestly the first Fire Fist like the Fire Fist guy who looks like he could be any animal. Like there's no real connotation. Even amongst like Raven and Hawk, they're still very clear like bird vibes, even though they were still just kind of guys. There's nothing happening with this.
Yeah,
armor.
the best I think we get is that the little blades on his hat are kind of long like horse ears, but those could be really any animal. This guy could be Brotherhood of the Fire Fist giraffe, and like I wouldn't disbelieve it, you know?
Yeah, because like the billowing mane atop his helmet, that could be a lot of animals with manes.
Yeah.
So for those not in the FP chat, I posted a picture of Phoenix Iki from fucking Saint Seiya, and I'm just like, they're the same. Look at these two fuckers.
There's almost certainly another guy who is actually that man, I'm sure.
But yeah, so Horse Prince is their first synchro monster.
He's the one you summon. You use spirit to summon.
Yes. As it is a level 6 synchro, Beast Warrior, obviously. 22-22, so pretty evenly stats. Requires 1 fire tuner, and then any 1+ non-tuner monsters, so semi-generic. Obviously, in deck, you're going to be using your fire tuners, but, you know, it works out.
You're going to summon spirit, get a 3, and make it.
Yes. When this card is synchro summoned, you can special summon 1 level 3 fire monster from your deck. After you synchro summon this card, you cannot special summon level 5 or higher monsters for the rest of the turn.
That second condition is very important, guys.
Yes. Though do note, I do like that it says the turn. So if you somehow manage to do the thing where you summoned this guy on your opponent's turn, which I don't actually think the synchro on your opponent's turn combos work with Horse Prince, but in case you did,
I'm sure at some point you could do it, but
yeah. So
you're trying too hard.
I'm not exactly sure why they had to go quite so far to future-proof. Is there a really good 9 Beast Warrior synchro?
Let me check. I think the intent was just so you can't loop Horse Prince, probably.
Yeah, probably. So you can't just, because actually, yeah,
You can't
no,
summon
Spirit's
3
only a
Horse
normal summon,
Princes
but
and just
still.
get infinite fodder.
Yeah, you can't just keep summoning guys. But my first instinct is like, okay, so they made it so you can't synchro climb with this guy, but also your in-archetype tuner says it can only be used for Beast Warriors anyway, so it's not like you're synchro climbing. But yes, even if you just want to make sure you can't summon more than 1 Horse Prince, it is still good.
I will say, we will get more tuners later.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to know what Beast Warrior synchro that was level 9 was pretty big in the format around this time?
Oh, who was it?
Double X Saber Gotham's.
Oh shit, Gotham's is a Beast Warrior. Okay, yeah, no, that's
Beast Warrior, baby.
that's a good precaution.
Another one that's funny is Thor, but
Okay,
he
yeah,
was
that
took a while
doesn't
to do
work,
that.
but
The idea that like you're fighting someone with Fire Fist and then they hit you with the Gothams.
I mean, it would be really bad because you need X Sabers to actually do his effect. But
yeah, but
still.
like I'm sure there could be a brew out there somewhere.
Yeah, if Horse Prince did not have that restriction, someone would have made the brew.
I would have seen somebody summon Gotham's this way on Sub Replay Friday.
Yeah, on some variation of sub some variation of sick Yu-Gi-Oh replays.
Yes, it would like Luke Von Karma's sub replay Friday, Farfa's table 500.
500.
I've seen most of the unholy ways you can dog another human being out of a game of Yu-Gi-Oh. Some of them are immensely fucked up. If I never see another Primal Seed loop in my life, it will be too soon.
My favorite FTK loop will always be Dark Scorpion Bird with summon 3 tokens, jackpot 7 them.
Yeah.
It's
Jesus.
But yeah, Horse Prince though is just a pretty alright guy. It's a 6. It's easy to summon. It fetches from deck for future plays to extend. It does kind of stop your synchro play, but in this year, that doesn't matter because that means you can immediately fork this guy into a Link 2 if you want.
Yeah,
Links
or
don't have levels.
like even then, the restriction still did future proof. Like not even for Links, for the Xyz monsters we would get later. I don't know when we get them, but
yeah. Their rank 3 was in the initial wave of support.
All right, and that's so yeah. Like you will get a level 3 fire monster that you can turn into Lion Emperor, correct?
Yes, who will appear on your screen shortly. The Lion Emperor. So, Lion Emperor, everybody. We may have a couple of notes
haircut. He needs to go to the barber pretty soon.
Huge omnidirectional hair. Not, it is a mane, but it is definitely also his hair because it's his beard as well. It's fully connected. He's got a few too many colors.
Yeah.
He is black and white and red and blue and also still has gold trim.
They very clearly wanted to go with the gold trim because Lion, but then they needed the white, I guess, because that's what they wanted his fire to be, because that's what the Xyz kind of monsters run with.
Yeah.
So once more, if I may make another comparison to another character, this guy is just Sabretooth from Marvel.
Yeah, no, that you're also getting that.
Definitely how this one looks like.
His tail does not seem lion-esque from the little bit we're seeing of it. It looks far too long.
Yeah, it is pretty long and thin. Though once again, that works out perfectly, like I said, because remember, people in China hadn't seen an Asiatic lion in like 1,000 years.
It also reminds me of Leo Whitefang from Guilty Gear.
A solid one, yeah. There's a lot of things you can say. This guy actually has a pretty decently long trivia page, but mostly it's just appearances. He's got a pair of Guardian Lions. The character he's named after, Chao Gai, or Chol Gai in Japanese, is the founder of the 108. But he is also another one of the characters who's not he founded them, but he is not part of the team. He is named King Mao, and they did give him Guardian Lions.
We have one more Fire Fist goon who is not a part of the 108, but we won't see him for a while because it's a Link.
Yeah. So I see what they're going for. They're trying to set him apart, but also boy, we're hitting the aspect of a little too over-designed.
Yeah, it legitimately, if he didn't have the blue and it was if he was just mono red instead of the red and blue, we might be fine. But it's just a lot happening. He's got the 2 swords. The pose is funky.
Yeah.
He's got some Polnareff posing going on with his legs.
His legs are all over the place.
But what's his goon do? What's he got?
So this is our rank 3, as I mentioned before. He is a 2200 attack, 200 defense on your rank 3 Xyz.
Target.
So very interesting. He is any 2 level 3 fire monsters. So if for somehow there were good level 3 fire monsters for you to play, they would all count.
That isn't Spirit.
Probably 5 of them.
There's a couple. And not that I think you would play Lone Fire in this deck, but it's funny that you could. Also, it does mean that if you somehow have some kind of special summon extension in modern decks, you could play Ash.
You know
and
what?
still use her as a target.
I'm just gonna spend a little bit looking at level 3 fire monsters while you guys.
Yeah. Because obviously, rank 3 and 3 Axis decks did kind of exist, but I don't think any of them were fire themed. So, Lion Emperor's in kind of a weird spot.
our favorite new dragon archetype is level 3 fires.
Well, I better see if I put a Lion Emperor in there.
Oh,
Actually,
Gazelle.
no. Yes,
Great
that
Gazelle.
would probably go in there. Because his effect is a soft once per turn. You can attach a material, target a fire monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand, but you can't normal or special that monster or monster with its same name for the rest of this turn. So
Yeah, no, there's a fair bit of random level fire 3 goons that could certainly have facilitated this man, but that's getting a bit too in the weeds.
yeah, a Lion Emperor is. I don't want to say, especially don't want to say the black sheep because that's just a terrible joke in this context. But like, they got 3 extra deck guys in their first wave. Lion Emperor is probably the least impressive. In that he just lets you recycle a guy from your graveyard to your hand, but you can't normal or special that monster. So, like, yes, you can use it to reload your extra deck, but then you can't bring out the new guys. You can reload your hand, but you can't summon them. It's a little slow.
It's the least impressive on the surface, but it also is not the worst thing to do if you ended up with 2 level 3s on your board and you kind of just don't want to leave them out.
Yeah. I mean, knowing the way that the 3s work, especially because your 3s are your tuner and then your 2 blockers, basically, like Hawk and Raven are both high on the defense stat.
Well, and I've been alluding to it. Once we get Rooster becomes the game plan for your 3-axis package.
Yeah. So, and they remember to do support later, but like it's definitely like good to have him in the deck.
Yeah.
But it's not. There's a reason why this guy is only a super rare when it released in Cosmo Blazer, whereas our next guy was an ultra. Was the big chase.
If you have the space, you probably play one of this guy just because it's fine.
Yeah. And I mean, what other fire rank 3s are you gonna make? Granosaurus?
Mirage Stallion? He is up. Oh yeah. Oh, is Arthurx's boy up next?
Yeah, no. Like I said, all 3 of they got 3 of these guys right away in Cosmo Blazer. So like, fairly well pushed. So it is Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, the Tiger King.
Tiger King was just played in anything I played level 4 Beast Wars.
Yeah. Kaien Seo Soko.
And
your Flamestar King, Songkyu.
I don't know how it goes, but he is listed as the first star, so is he like the big protag man?
Probably.
If there could be one in the Water Margin.
Yeah, if you could pick out a protagonist out of 108 heroes.
He is the one.
This will financially ruin us.
He is the first ranked of the 36 Heavenly Spirits. Because, by the way, there's 108 of the Water Margin heroes. They're subdivided into different categories.
There's 3 different categories?
I think so. But out of the Heavenly Spirits, which is probably the most important ones, if I just had to guess, not being familiar, him ranking as the first means that he's probably pretty important. And like I said, he is the leader his name means leader Flamestar King. So he's a big deal. So art-wise, I think this is a mite better than Lion Emperor.
Yeah, 100%.
He's got kind of a bronze or burnished orange, as a sub theme, but he doesn't have. And he does have a lot of colors, but mostly they're like trim. Like he's got just a little bit of white and just got a little bit of kind of a purple.
He has a lot of colors, but like his artwork is very much pronounced by the giant tiger behind him.
Yeah, you see his big fucking tiger. He's got a flaming war fan as he orders the tiger to fucking
tiger on you.
Yeah. He has, his hair forms kind of the shape of a tiger's head, but it's not like super out there like Lion Emperor. Basically, this art's just much more restrained.
With Lion Emperor, there's a lot happening, and like in this case, the mane and the little pips on his helmet kind of form the eyes. It forms the silhouette of a tiger head. It's very nice.
Yeah. It does what we want it to do. So Tiger King is your rank 4 to start. 2 level 4 Beast Warrior monsters, so he is locked the other way. When this card is Xyz summoned, you can set a Fire Formation spell or trap directly from your deck.
Hey, it's probably gonna be tanking.
Once per turn, you can detach material from this card. Negate the effects of all face-up effect monsters currently on the field except Beast Warriors until the end of your opponent's turn. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send 3 Fire Formation spell traps you control to the graveyard, special summon 2 level 4 lore Beast Warrior monsters with the same attack from your deck in face-up defense position. So yeah, this guy just does it all. When you summon him, he extends into another spell trap for just keeping your combo going. He also has your big punchy for game effect in that you can just be like, hey, face-up monsters that aren't Beast Warriors, get negated.
There's actually something that we negotiated. We did not mention going through the first wave. We will get some later, but we have pairings of Fire Fist cards. The monster with the same attack listed have the same color aesthetic of their spirit, and Tiger King is why they have those pairings for this.
Yeah.
And we will see if we do some of the Fire Formations, we will see them. The guys who are part of the pairs are placed together on the Fire Formation.
Yeah, there's a lot of thematic stuff in this archetype.
Like the cover image or thumbnail for the stream has 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Raven and Hawk who are on Tenki.
Yes.
We'll get one with a Snake. I believe Snake and Dragon are Tencent actually, off the top of my head. But there's a lot.
But yeah, so like obviously the cost for his floating effect is a little high, but those guys are summoned without being negated or anything, so they're just...
Those guys will just hit the board, and if they have effects, they will prop.
Tiger King can turn into 2 extra guys if he gets got. He like I said, he has a summon effect, he has an active effect to detach materials, and then he has a floating. He's just a comprehensive piece of work. Not enough, I think, to like close things out on his own, but a very good setup card.
You will notice it does not say with different names, just with the same attack. So you can summon 2 of the same guy.
Yeah, if you got him in
stop
deck.
once per turn effect. Let's say a man who adds a card to the deck when he's summoned from the deck.
There's quite a lot of just good things you can do with him. He is a very important guy, and again, technically, can be played in any old deck that makes Beast Warrior Force.
I just realized, if you were playing, if for some reason you end up with 3 Tenki on the board and you weren't playing Fire Fist, you can just summon 2 Beast Warriors from your deck. They do not even Fire Fist, not Fire Fist monster, just Beast Warriors. Fun. Tiger King is an insanely pushed card.
Yeah,
I will say, very strong.
I wasn't, gonna. I was gonna say earlier when I was talking about reading Tiger King's effect. I'm not sure I want to say for sure pushed, but also I feel like these guys were pretty pushed. They had like promos, there were like advertisements for them and like Jump and shit. Like this was part of the promo cycle for Cosmic Blazer, so like they knew these guys were gonna be a thing. And
I mean, just to get me simple for Tiger King, you pull his wiki page. His artwork is his like super hollow version of his 10 of his 10 artwork. So yeah, he the archetype may not have been pushed. Tiger King was pushed.
Yeah,
Tiger King was made to be generic.
Yeah, we were doing a good game design. So now we're going to talk about their second wave of support. This appeared in Lords of the Tachyon Galaxy. That's right, these guys existed at the same time as some very special boys. Dragon Rulers.
Yeah. They were not level 7s, though.
No. Though they were fires, so you could... I'm sure Blaster saw some time in some Fire Fist decks just for the fun.
Well, Blaster probably saw time because there were almost assuredly Fire Fist was splashing Fire King, so why wouldn't you play Blaster?
Yeah. Play Blaster, play the whole thing. Honestly, I'm looking at it. Lords of the Tachyon Galaxy is a banger set.
It really is. Like there are plenty of sets that just do not quit. Tachyon Galaxy is one of them.
Introduced Dragon Rulers, Battle Boxers, and Mecha Phantom Beast. That was the first time those were all printed. Included new Fire Fist and Fire King support. New Geargia stuff. New Harpies. Mermails, Madolches. Constellars.
It really gets just about all of us in that even amongst our weird gaggle of gremlins. I think that manages to capture all of us in some way.
Yeah, somebody wants some stuff out of there.
Wormail, we get Fire Fist, we get
Hell,
dragons.
the
the
cover card is what's his face, number 107. You know, just another one of the generic big 8 guys. If you're playing 8s, you can play that guy. But yeah, so that was a great set. So they got some support. So we start once again alphabetically with Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Buffalo. Honestly, Buffalo is fairly okay.
My problem with Buffalo
Careful.
just comes from the angle he's posed
Yeah.
in. It's very odd.
I think the Pilgrims are gonna make him extinct at this rate.
So I can't notice any difference between the two, but this is one of the case where oh, okay, they changed the kanji very slightly for some reason in the TCG versus the OCG.
Yeah, he is apparently bull. Supposed to be bull in the OCG. It's like
I don't really see anything.
Every TCG version is Buffalo, but the OCG is listed as bull.
Yeah, his name in the OCG is Satsu Ensei Buruki, Killer Flamestar Bulkui. Is the kanji on his forehead supposed to be like death or something, which is why they edited it?
Let's look at trivia.
Yeah.
It is kill/murder. Yes.
Ah, okay. That's so weird that the TCG thought they had to like hide a murder kanji. But they did do that.
Does he have alternate artworks?
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. If you look at him on the wiki, his OCG art and his TCG art are different. And at first I thought it was something about the fact that we're practically upskirting him. No. In the OCG, there are different kanji on his animal spirit form's forehead.
Oh.
So yeah,
Weird.
that's a very weird pull. Honestly, Buffalo's okay. My main question, possible concern, is with the way his lighting and shading is, I'm not sure what is supposed to be bodysuit and what is supposed to be skin tone.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. And, you know, it could be odd, but I'm sure they meant, like, because it is bull, it's, you know, it's supposed to be, like, bull or water buffalo. So it's not like, you know, not like we're doing any accidental stereotypes. They're very hard to see, but I like that he's got twin axes. That's cool. I wish they weren't, like, positioned in such a way so that they almost become invisible to camera.
Yeah, like the best I can assume is what's happening is that he is like he is falling in the air attacking somebody.
Yeah, he's got to be like mid-aerial combo.
Yeah.
He's got, you know, the helmet with the bull horns. That works out. Other than that, his outfit is pretty normal, but he's got the blue fire.
I dig the chainmail aesthetic. I don't think we have many other guys who have that going on, and the chainmail kind of works. Chainmail works. I dig it.
Yeah. So Buffalo is a 1700 attack, 1000 level 4. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send a total of 2 Fire Fist or Fire Formation cards from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard. Special summon him from your graveyard. This guy is a hopped. We have realized that being able to do this more than once would probably be problematic. But yeah, this guy pitches Fire Fists or formations from hand or face-up field to summon himself out of the graveyard.
And that can that is for cost, so that should still trigger some cards that just have to hit the grave.
Yes. For instance, what was it? Raven is the one who says if sent from field to grave, period. You get to
and this card's if a field to the graveyard, set
yes.
1, and
Yeah,
it's an if, so it will not miss time.
The main thing is just getting Buffalo into your graveyard in the first place. You know, you have to have done some other stuff, but it's not super hard to arrange that.
No, it's super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
He's one of those finicky ones you play for the combo potential.
Yeah. Because, like, if once you've got him in rotation, he's stuck in rotation. You can keep sending guys. Unless your opponent's going to
Yeah.
banish him, you can keep doing moves. But also, this is the thing I was talking about, chat. I mentioned way earlier, and I'll remind some of you in case you tuned in a little later. So, our first block was, bear, dragon, gorilla, hawk, raven, snake. Spirit was a little weird. Swallow maybe a little, funny. But all perfectly normal. We are in our second wave of support, and you're looking at animals like buffalo. It was bull. Okay, pretty normal. Now get ready for our next guy. We're immediately going a little off the
weird.
reservation.
But it's very clearly intended to be weird, as
Yes.
it's also based off the thing that Spirit's based off of.
Yeah.
It
works out.
He makes sense. He makes
But
sense as
the animals immediately start getting further afield. Bull is pretty normal. Our next one is Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Coyote. And yes, it is actually Coyote. This guy's name in the OCG is Kiense Goyote. Resourceful Flame Star Wu Yote.
Coyote.
So this is the guy who's meant to be a pair to Swallow. Yeah, I don't know.
He's we can knock his effect out real quick. He's a side if you have a fire formation.
Yeah, he is a clearly this is an apology for Swallow, and they realized, oh yeah, hold on, let's do this better. If you control a fire formation spell trap and no monsters, you could special him.
It's 2 conditions, but honestly, if you're playing Firefish, you're gonna have a fire formation on the field, so it's not even that much of a restriction.
The odds that you will somehow not have a fire formation and not also be able to set up guys is low. You'll get him. So art-wise,
No.
I feel a little weird about his face.
Once again, just another Dynasty Warriors character. Posted another image. It's just the same guy.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he's using he's got the twin weighted chain. It just looks like it ends in a scythe blade.
He clearly has a character on his one, but this is the first one I've seen. They do not list what it says.
Interesting. Yeah, you can see it clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the positioning of his little fire doggo vis-a-vis the fires on his chains is a little weird. It looks like it's just kind of hanging out behind him, but it works out. Yeah, this guy's just a strange man. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. He's just an odd little guy.
Yeah.
Well, and what's interesting for me is looking at this kind of reinterprets Swallow's artwork to where that almost dark brownish color is apparently supposed to be purple because the guys also have matching armor sets.
Yeah. This guy's much better lit, so he's kind of purplish. Not that is bad, because,
Yeah, it's not bad, just saying that it weirdly recontextualizes how Swallow's supposed to look.
Wait a minute, hold on. This is a reach, but I can do this because Vesper and Loth are here. So,
no.
do you think we could get Jeremy to cosplay this guy? This
Oh,
guy's really
yeah.
timid.
He could pull that off so well.
He is. But
This guy's gone
The
full
only
Ruby
problem
Tim.
I see with Jeremy cosplaying this guy is just the hair.
The dreads, yeah. You just hide him in the
I
helmet.
do like his weapon. The weapon looks fun.
Yeah.
A bit impractical, but it's got the rule of cool.
I mean, I don't think they were primary weapons, but double-weighted chains were absolutely a
Impractical in
historical
the sense of
weapon size.
unlike in the image Loth sent, there is not a handle at the end of the weapon.
Yeah, no, you just that's why he's
I
wearing
know.
gloves. You just raw dog the chain and throw it at people.
That's fair.
But yeah, he's pretty normal. The only other thing you need to know about him is he's, like I said, another level 5, and he does have 200 attack and 500 defense.
Too fast.
Not the best card. I don't know if this guy makes the cut just because you have so goddamn many Fire Fists these days.
Unless you're really down bad for a 5 for some kind of very specific combo.
We really
package,
want to summon Vukasaurus.
You ain't playing Coyote, but
Yeah.
The other thing I will mention is, since we're fairly deep into the thing,
Yeah.
and we've brought up the fire formations, The reason you might be wondering, man, these guys look weak as hell by their stats. They don't matter. They don't matter because every fire formation gives attack modulation.
I believe the usual format is the spells are all Beast Warriors gain 100, and then the traps
all the spells
are
100, and all the traps are 300, excluding the obvious Omni Negate that is not real.
Yeah. So they all have built-in attack modulation. So
yeah,
the every guy who says they're only 1700 or actually 1800, the 1800 guys are almost always actually at least 19, if not more.
And your Coyote is always a literal side drop.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that despite what you may think, I believe most of the Fire Fist formations don't specifically mention Fire Fist. They say Beast Warriors.
Yeah. Not all the Fire formations just name check Beast Warrior, not Fire Fist monsters.
And this is why Tenki has seen time on the FNL list.
Tenki, and even to an extent, I don't think Tensu has ever hit. But Tenki and to a smaller extent Tensu were splashed into many various Beast Warrior Go Bird decks.
Yes.
One of the most common things you'd see is Tri-Brigade Tenki.
Yes.
Yep. I think that's when Tri-Brigade got... Tri-Brigade... Tenki got hit either because of Tri, or specifically because that was the time when we let some Zodiac stuff back, and so Tri-Zoo was a thing.
Well, yeah, because
it
was definitely Zodiac that got Tenki hit first. Because I remember the format generally of Yosenju also played Tenki, but Yosenju was never a meta threat. It was one of those
Yosenju's always been a weird
rogue shenanigans.
A rogue deck.
But yeah, the moment Zodiac hit the format, they said, Tenki to 1.
Yeah.
We're just
going.
And
then this is a problem.
The zoos got, and then Konami was like, hey, you know what probably wasn't so bad? Zodiacs. We didn't need to limit all those cards. Trident can come back. Oh no, we've made a mistake.
Oh, we've done it in the game where we've made another archetype that uses that facilitates Beast Warrior combos.
We've done an oopsie poopsie.
And has level 4 Beast Warriors in it. Oh no. Alright, let's talk about our next guy.
Why did we never learn our
Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Leopard.
Leopardon.
Also known as Soku Ensei Taihyo Speed Flame Star Daibao. Clearly he is supposed to be some kind of wizard. It looks like he's holding like talismans or tablets or something to throw at people. Yeah.
His character is straightforward. It's speed. It is supposed to, I believe they're supposed to be the character of what their star represents.
Yeah.
But some of them get a bit more flowery.
Oh yeah.
This guy just has intent.
This guy just has talisman sutra seals or whatever.
Yeah.
Got a leopard.
A leopard becomes your next spirit target. We'll just say that much.
Yeah. Yes. No. Sorry, I just looked at the trivia page. First of all, very funny. Despite the fact that his name is Leopard all around, they use the Hyo.
Very clearly a cheetah.
It's a cheetah, yeah. But the character he's named after, Dai Zong, it was nicknamed the Magic Traveler. So yes, he is supposed to be a wizard.
He is the Magic Man.
Which just kind of explain how he's a little skinnier compared to some of the others. Though obviously still has, unless that's just his armor, has roughly a 12-pack.
That's his armor, and we will see why he is so scrawny when we see what's that stat line, Omega.
Yeah, okay, so we'll just jump straight to that one. There's not a lot else to say about this guy. I think Leopard's just generally kind of good.
Nice. Like there's not much to say about it. Like we're kind of running out of things to say, nice things to say about the Fire Fist armor, but he's not bad. The weirdest thing is kind of like his open mouth tilting a little too far over.
Yeah,
maybe.
He's yelling. Also, I mean, I think his ponytail braid thing is a little dorky, but
a little.
It could be worse. So this guy's
sorry, if I may just say one more thing
for
those who also are aware of the genre. He looks like the guy in a cultivation story who would be jobbed out within the first fight.
Well, this guy would be jobbed out. So this is another one of our level 3s. Once again, we've immediately dropped the bird thing. We're just like, fuck it. Leopards are 3s now, too.
Leopards are
0
better,
attack,
right?
200 defense. No attack, 200 defense.
And he's got a buddy, which unfortunately means another buddy is going to have 0 attack later.
Yeah. But he does say, during your main phase, if this card was normaled or specialed this turn, you contribute a Fire Fist monster. Yeah. Set a Fire Formation spell trap directly from your deck. You can only use this effective Leopard once per turn. So Leopard is hopped, but it is just, if it's your main phase and this guy has been special summoned, you contribute any old Fire Fist off to get whatever Fire Formation you need at the moment.
You can normal Spirit, bring Leopard back, get that Tenki you really need.
Yeah.
Or
Also,
get a Tensu to just get another normal summon.
Yes. Also, is rekindleable. So you can run that. That means that you have 2 of your targets to make Horse Prince who are rekindleable, so you can do some of your synchro plays that way. So yeah, Leopard is just good support. Like, he doesn't break anything, but it's just, this is just another good guy to have. Gives you more utility, more ways to get out guys.
He doesn't break anything, but he very quickly became part of extension lines.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think it's my depression acting up, but I feel like I really just want to go to sleep. God damn
You
it.
sleepy? You can go to sleep.
Yeah,
It could just be being. We're gonna be here for a while. We're already an hour and a half. Like, if you want to just hang out in the stream, you can sit here,
Like,
take your headphones off, lay down.
yeah, no, it's been awful because for some odd reason, when I was staying at my parents' place, it's like you can turn the fan on, but only to 1, because apparently any higher than that, and the fucking engine for it dies.
Ah, okay, one of those.
And couldn't have the air conditioning on because fuck me, I guess.
It's hot.
So, yeah, I think I might take a nap. I'll set an alarm for an hour from now.
Oh my god, I just read one of the cards we're gonna read later.
There's a lot of funny stuff later. By the way, chat,
I just read a link to I just read a generic link to man who.
Chat, we're about halfway
go
through,
off.
by the way. At an hour and a half, which is probably why it is good if Loth wants to take. If Loth wants to take a nap, now is a good time. If he says he's going to set an alarm for an hour, he might actually be back before we're done at this rate.
we might just go through the fire formations if Loth gets back.
So our next one is Rhino.
Rhino is our pairing to Buffalo.
Yeah. In case you can't
So
tell
we
from
have
like the
something
very
to do with
similar shading on the color scheme as well.
This man is a bit too hinge, but I get he's supposed to be a Rhino, so I can forgive it.
He's very. Actually, yeah. For Loth, I'll bring this up because it's been a running joke in me streaming 14 since then. This guy's got some Emperor Varys vibes. He's kind of a blocky wall of a man.
Yeah,
he's got a very square head.
It's probably good he's positioned this way because he would be very wide otherwise.
Yes. One thing I will say that I don't like is, on the one hand, it's cool that he's got his Rhino aura encompassing his weapon, but also I have no idea what his weapon is. It's entirely consumed in flames, so...
Yeah, let me pull up Rhino. Let me pull up...
while you're looking that up, this is Kuensei Saicho, Flight Flame Star Shichao.
Huh. His kanji is a void/sky.
Well, he is the flight star, so that makes sense.
Yeah. And he's apparently the impatient vanguard, which I guess makes sense for a Rhino as well.
Yeah. Let me see. He's a character in the water margin.
His weapon is a golden axe.
Okay.
He is the golden axe.
Oh, nice. He's gonna get a sequel soon.
Yeah.
Sega announced they're working on a new one of those.
Can't believe they're gonna make an XC's Rhino.
But yeah, talking about the chainmail aesthetic, I like that on his shoulder pads. It's very good for a Rhino.
Yeah,
that kind of
like for
look.
Buffalo, it looked nice. It works very well for this very clearly big, heavy armored man who is running at you because he is not patient apparently.
Yep. And also, it kind of makes sense with his effect. So, like you said, Rhino is the opposite of Buffalo, so he is a 1700 attack, level 4, 1400 defense. If a Fire Fist monster you control attacks or is attacked, during damage calculation, in either player's turn, don't know why they needed quite all the specifications, you can send one face-up Fire Formation spell trap card you control and one Fire Fist monster from your hand to the graveyard once per battle. Your attacking/attacked monster gains attack equal to the original attack of the monster sent to the graveyard during damage calc only. So Rhino is a incredibly convoluted Kaloot.
Yeah, this guy reeks of Tachyon Galaxy. I think was legitimately like a set or two before we introduced problem-solving card text. Which,
Yes, and unfortunately, he has not been reprinted anytime this decade. It has been nearly 10 years since this. Like, he was printed in the Megatin, so it's not quite 10, but this guy is old. And honestly, you can tell why. It's because he's a -2 to Kaloot. Not the greatest. But I get why they want to keep themes consistent. They don't want to just give you a hand trap, you know, at this day and age. But yeah, this is I don't know exactly how this would look in like post PCST, but it would be a lot cleaner.
Apparently, I'm wrong. He is problems on the card decks was 2 years before this, so this guy just does not have the modern versions of how these cards read.
Yeah, they didn't just because there are like Dark World Snow is technically post PCST, but like immediately post PCST, so it's confusing as fuck.
Which is probably where Rhino comes from as well. Like that growing pain of them not really sure how to phrase this kind of effect.
I believe that, like, for instance, we could make attacker is attacked just battles.
Yes, a lot of cards just use battles now for that.
You could just say it's during damage calc, and you don't need to say it in either player's turn. You know, that's just...
Because damage calc effects can only be during either player's turn.
That's already inherently a quick effect.
But yeah, regardless of harping on how Rhino is worded, he's incredibly okay.
He's very mid, yeah.
Like, again, the problem with effects like this is that he has to be... Does he have to be on...
Yes, he has to be on field.
Yeah.
Your Fire Fist has to battle, and then you have to send specifically a... Actually, double-check the wording on that once more.
A Fire Formation and a Fire Fist monster from your hand. So you
No, you send one face-up Fire Formation you control and one Fire Fist monster from your hand. So
yeah, so like Rhino would be the reason you play Swallow and Coyote, I guess, if you really want that 2K boost.
Yeah. So like, I mean, it's cute, but like,
yeah.
I mean, just to talk about like future card design, Trickstar conglomerated like both Coyote and Rhino into one card, Korobane. Korobane is both your in-archetype Honest and also is a Sidra. And like, that's way more efficient. Like, Coyote would be playable if he was a Korobane, if you could summon him and also you could, you know, pitch him for a 2K boost, but we can't do that. This is probably why Rhino has not been reprinted since 2014.
Yeah,
he is what we would call, I believe these days, inessential.
Yes. Like, not to mention that Fire Fist monsters do not have that great printed stats to begin with.
No.
So you're not even getting that great a bang for your buck unless you're really down bad and you want to pitch Rooster.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, it is a way to get cards out of your hand, but yeah, it's just not...
Oh, like this is the way you set up Buffalo, I guess, is the intent, because they are paired together. That's the design intent is you pitch Buffalo to put him in grave to revive him.
And obviously, like, he works for other cards, but he also works for himself. He is a Fire Fist monster who battles, so there's some potential. But we're gonna move on to our next one. This is Wolf.
Our pairing with Leopard, as you can see from the colors. He is our other Sage Man.
Yeah. He's doing some fucking monk poses. His name in the OCG is Sho-Ensei Urubusho. Harm Flamestar Wolwu Song.
Yeah.
Again, I love the portmanteaus. They're very silly.
And is his kanji censored because it is wound/scar?
It is not actually. Interesting.
So we can wounding is fine. Killing is bad.
Yeah.
We can maim you, just we can't kill you.
Also, speaking of things that, you know, could be actually kind of surprised he didn't get censored. He's got a gourd, a flask on his hip because he is the master of drunken boxing in the Water Margin.
Yeah, he is like the guy who began that not that trope. I was trying to think of the right term.
Yeah. Otherwise, his design, I mean, it's pretty typical of these patterns of guys, but it's all right. You know, he's got the same armor pattern as Leopard.
He has a fun pose
Yeah.
that works with the drunken boxing aesthetic. I dig it.
Yeah.
Like, got a fun pose. I love what I'm supposed to be are the closest thing to mandala beads, if I'm getting the terms correct.
Yeah. He's got a big run of prayer beads. His hat is very vaguely kind of wolf shaped. You know, it's got kind of the swoosh.
Yeah. His hair kind of follows that billowy aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like it's since Loth is gone and we need someone else to spout references. He fits that Yamcha aesthetic. That mangy wolf aesthetic man who has to have long billowy hair.
And honestly, I'm kind of surprised he's not doing like a claw fist in one of, because he's got closed fist and open fist. I'm kind of surprised he's not doing a claw hand like a wolf fang fist, but I guess the artist thought that would be too on the nose.
Too on the nose, and also drunken boxing, that kind of style is it's more open hand than doing actual like not piercing motions, but like those aggressive motions.
Yeah.
It's all about the misdirection. But
so Wolf is
this
also
guy's
0. He's got 1900 defense, so he's one of your walls if you need him.
He's a wily boy, which
Yeah.
I guess is supposed to be.
And he definitely, I think, has that aesthetic because his effect is definitely a little bit of a misdirect. It says, if this card is flipped face up, you can set a Fire Formation trap card directly from your deck. Then, also, if it was flipped summoned, you can set a Fire Formation spell card directly from your deck. So if you can somehow, like, set this guy and then flip him up on your turn to flip summon him, he is, you know, a spell and a trap. But even if he's just, your opponent attacks into this guy face down, he gets flipped up, you can get a trap.
Yeah, like, unfortunately, he's far too slow, but for a card printed that was designed to be set, he does have a pretty good effect.
Yeah, and his while it is not, obviously, because, you know, rekindling, it's not, you know, super helpful for it to be a high defense, he does have a pretty good defense even for having that, you know, low attack. Like, they actually made that one work around pretty good.
Like this guy is probably the closest thing to a playable T set pass of the time, but it was still not that great.
I mean, it's not great, but like I said, there are going to be times when your opponent is going to go, oh, you're playing Fire Fist? You can go first, buddy.
Yeah. Wolf is your emergency. I know I'm going to go first. I guess I do this, maybe?
Yeah, let's get some wolves, you know, just set it up. Yeah. If nothing else, it might, you know, make your opponent, like, if you searched a wolf and set him, it can make your opponent, like, a waste removal on a guy. They're like, oh, shit, I don't want to flip up wolf, then you'll just get more guys out of the deck.
Yeah, like for a card that is designed to be played slow, this is one of those few cards that Konami had some fun trying to balance this guy. He's neat.
So, in Tachyon Galaxy, they got another Xyz monster. This one you've probably not heard of, because I can spoil it. His materials are 2 level 4 Fire Fist monsters, so he is completely archetype locked. This is Cardinal.
They decided to make this guy the one that could not be generic.
Yeah, which usually when they do Xyz, they do that. We talked about Bujins not too long ago, and they're the same way. They have like one that is just Beast Warriors, funnily enough. One that is explicitly Bujins, and then which one?
Susanoo, I believe, is the generic one.
Yes, I think so. And then I think Tsukiyomi is like, is it lights? I think he's light locked.
Yeah, like we get varying levels of genericness.
And then also Amaterasu is also generic, but she's fucking 3 level 4s, so you got to work for it.
Amaterasu can be generic just because it's harder to summon.
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of 3 mat rank 4s are generic just because it's slightly harder to set up.
Oh boy, good luck with this one, Omega. I just peeked at his name.
Oh yeah, so this is the Kan Ensei Kokansho, the Leisure Flame Star Gongguang Sheng.
And his
very long name.
Even though he is leisurely, his kanji is that of space, which is of time between things. Like not outer space, but the space between.
It's funny. He's the downtime star.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But for being about downtime, he's decked out.
yeah, no, he's a pretty big chungus.
No, I mean, even his like his billowy robes.
Yeah, he's got the big, kind of bird-like cape, though it doesn't have all the feather stuff. He's got lots of little dangly bits from his sword. I like how he's mostly the white flame, but we do have the red crest of the cardinal, and it's also his hat.
And it's the same red crest that like his little headdress evokes.
Oh, yeah, I missed.
Big boy.
We covered the first rotation, and I think we are finishing up the.
Yeah, this is the second
Spectrum
wave.
Galaxy.
So we're a little over halfway through.
This guy's got very like valorous tactician vibes.
Yeah. Oh, he is very much the tactician of the group, but like we ran out of things to say for a while, but Cardinal is very much like the exceed. Like I think it's just the case of the extra deck monsters. The extra deck monsters kind of go hard with their designs, even though we run out of things to say on for the main deck boys.
Yeah.
I know it's weird to say, but I kind of figured it'd be cool to see, I guess, all of Fire King or Fire Fist as a thing in an anime, just to see, I guess, how it all line up, because there's so many cards, it'd have to be like literally multiple episodes of a fight.
I do believe that a manga character does use them, but obviously that's not in motion.
Well, and Fire Fist definitely, it feels like it should have been an anime archetype with how many varied up cards they've gotten.
Oh yeah, no, this would be a great, and I can see why they would have used it for a manga. This would be a great, like, maybe not a main character, but like
supporting character.
Yeah, I could definitely see a character in a Yu-Gi-Oh anime having this as his gimmick, and just like
this is the revolver. Like that's like
there are so many mechanics these different guys have. There are so many like weird one-off anime situations, which is why it's actually quite interesting that they are not an anime archetype. Konami just decided to like flex their brains.
Who was the guy that played Salad in Brains?
Salad is a flame maker.
Soul burner.
Soul burner.
Yeah. I feel like he'd be that kind of character. I feel like he'd be that like.
And Soul burner together.
Yeah.
Soul burner playmaker. Playmaker did Cerberus. Good stuff. I think.
I feel like I should watch some Brains at some point, but I do.
Brains
I like all the characters fucking aliases.
To go a bit off topic, Brains it starts off very fun and it becomes a clusterfuck that you just kind of have to keep.
You could see when the production started having internal conflicts.
You could see the break over like shit. We're running out of money and we don't know what we're doing.
You don't have to wait to see it. You'll get to it very quickly when there are like 4 recap episodes within a month of each other.
Reminds me, MBT's last Twitter thread video of the year was anime characters who shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, where Blue Angel would have just FTK'd at least like 5 people.
Well, it's half the Vrains characters.
Yeah, well, and that's because Vrains was, I think, other than maybe Rush, like Sevens and Rush and Go Rush, like I think that Vrains is the closest to just playing the literal fucking card game. But for dramatic tension, they have to fuck it up. I remember he talked about, and you'll love this, for
Sun Avalon
remember this from the video. Yes, the Sun Avalon guy, where he talked about how, like, MBT's like, yeah, that guy just gets lost in the sauce. Like, he'll set up the fucking U-Link and then be like, wait, hold on, I could make this worse for you. And he just gets fucked.
Like he's just bad at Yu-Gi-Oh because he does not understand. Does not understand the idea of
when to stop.
Don't overextend.
Yeah.
Don't.
Listen, who hasn't had to learn a lesson about overextending? But all right, Cardinal is your next rank 4. 1800 attack, 2200 defense. This is another thing they also usually do with when Xyz archetype's gone for a while. This guy is more weighted in the defense department. He has 2 level 4 Fire Fists.
Well, he's the reverse stats of Tiger King.
Yes, he is the opposite way around. He says that you can detach 2 materials from this card and then target 2 Fire Fist or Fire Formation cards in your graveyard and or face-up field. 2 cards in your opponent's graveyard to face-up field. Shuffle all those fuckers back. You can only Cardinal once per turn. He is a hopped, but honestly, if you can set up Cardinal, that's spicy. Just reload 2 of your cards back.
Well, and like the funniest thing too is if you're getting your Fire Formations, that just says, all right, I'm gonna put my Tinkies back in the deck to get more searches.
Yeah.
For example.
No. And, like, it works on Fire Fist monsters in your graveyard as well. So, like, if you just need to reload some boys, this is a much better mid-range card than Snake. Like, this is a card you want to make when you're a couple turns in the duel and you're like, okay, my opponent's got a board, he's interrupted some of my stuff. I'm going to make Cardinal, we're going to reload the deck, we're going to shuffle a few things away, and we're going to keep going.
Yeah, Cardinal... Well, and the like I guess like the major downside is just that like it's a two detach effect, but it's a very strong effect. So I can see why they made it two detach two.
It's detach 2 to shuffle 2 back on both sides of the board or in your opponent's graveyard. Honestly, if he was a quick effect, he would be monstrous. But he does let you pinch your opponent's graveyard too if you feel like it.
He's one of those cards that's designed to sit there and wait for the he's designed to just sit there and wait.
And again, with his defensive stat line, you can put him in defense. You're going to be modulating your stats anyway because the fire formations are both attack and defense. You can get some plays there. So we're going to get into our third wave. This was still deep in the Xyz era. This is Judgment of the Light is when our next block came out.
They're only attack. They're not defense.
Oh, are they not defense? I thought they were. Well, that gives you an excuse to play Hawk. He is plus 500 attack and defense.
Yes.
Can help you wall up. But yeah, so we're
stack if you really want to plop triple Hawk on board.
Yeah. I mean, if it works as a wall. So yes, our next batch came in Judgment of the Light, which is like I said, deep in the Xyz era. Actually, the set, by the way, where Boojins and Trap Tricks were introduced.
Yeah. And that does kind of make sense, seeing where a few of our boys are, because I mean it's funny too. Just in general, it's like, a lot like how you mentioned, they're into that Fire Fist Trap Tricks brew, which is very much themed after just the tempo some of our guys in this set produce.
Yes, Hat. Fire Kings were still valid in Hat. Hell, you could probably play Firehand in this deck and make some space for some Ice Hands, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like you could just be playing Fat.
Also, honestly, I haven't looked at him super close, but I may talk about this more later, chat, but I have discovered my love of making unhinged cubes.
Oh, yeah.
We should try one out of these days. We should try one out afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, like, it's holidays, and like not all of us are all available at that time.
But when if Loth wasn't taking a nap, I might try and get it together when we were done because there's 4 of us here. But we'll see. We'll do it sometime. The only thing holding me back is that without paying for YGOPRODECK.com premium, you can only save 3 cubes to the website. That is severely limiting my power level right now. But like I've made some wackos. I'm very fond of Dragon, not Dragon. But
do you think they're functional?
Just make
I've
extra
tested them, yes.
Omega.
I could do that. I have actually test drafted them with a bot because you can do that. And yes, no, they are functional. They have accesses. They're a little hard to test because people can probably sense what I like about Yu-Gi-Oh! In that the kinds of removal that made it in are usually very specific, and there's not a lot of shit like. It's very hard to test my draft brews, my cube brews against like the Horus deck in YGO Pro because that has fucking 3 Fisher, 3 Hammer Blow, you know? Even the Cyberse deck is playing like 3 Bottomless, so it's a little weird, but they're fun. I've put some hands in some of those. There's some fun times. But we're going to move on to that 3rd level of support with the first one, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Boar.
Boar.
So I feel like you can see the design aesthetics and the production shifting a little, because he doesn't look that different, but Boar does look a little different. There's just something about like how shiny he is.
Just in general, from here on, the Fire Fist, it's like I said, it's not so much a literal diversion in design, more so just a they very clearly had an idea in between now and then of how they wanted to design the Fire Fists. Like it was a shift in tone rather than a full-on reimagining.
Yeah. That said, while he's a little more cartoonish, Boar is not bad.
I really like how he looks.
Yeah, no, he's with the half shoulder and then the tattoo. His hat is a little goofy, but it's got the boar tusk, so it all works. He's got the fucking monk spade. Love that.
No listing of what the character is.
A little sad, even though you can see it right there. But yeah, he's got the monk spade. The purple fire is pretty cool. So yeah, in general, he is a big chungus, but he looks good for it.
Yeah. I I love I love the markings on his back arm, and like just in general, I like asymmetric designs.
Yeah.
Like they look nice, and like when they're done well like this, where it's like there's a clear through line to why it is asymmetric instead of just being asymmetric for the sake of it.
Yeah. So, this is in the SG known as Koense Roshishin, Solitary Flamestar Lushishin, because, based on Boar, which is Inoshin. So, color-wise, I did actually find this on the trivia page. Color-wise, he does have a slightly similar color scheme to Spirit. Why would that be, you wonder? Well, guess what? It's because he's your new tuna.
He's your tuner you're transmodifying to, baby.
So, he is a level 4 tuner, 1100 attack, 1400 defense, so not great stats, but
this is definitely the worst statted Fire Fist monster.
Yeah.
But he is a tuner, and also stats.
He is a tuner, and also he's a level 4 in a 4-axis deck, so you just don't care.
Yeah.
So, he does have a restriction. He can only be used as a synchro material for the synchro summon of a fire monster. Guess what that fucking opens up?
Crimson Blader!
Crimson Blader. Also, I'm pretty sure we were back to playing at least one copy of Black Rose at this time period.
Yeah, you'd be playing Black Rose. Why would you not be?
There's a lot of good fire synchros, so...
yo, you can make Geomathmech Final Sigma with this guy.
Oh god, you can make Sigma with this. Shit. It's actually probably not a terrible idea. It's just, well, I want to end the fucking game.
Yeah, but, like, just glancing through the fire synchros, there's plenty of random goons.
Yeah.
That are amongst the list.
Sometimes making the levels work might be a little weird, but you've got 4s and 3s, so you can make even and odd numbers work. You have
3s, 4s, and 5s if you're really down bad.
Yeah, if you really wanted to play the synchro plays, you could probably make Coyote work. If you really wanted
to summon Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles, I guess.
Honestly, the better selection probably for 9s would be Vermilion Dragon Mech.
I was looking at the level 9s. I looked at the one I knew the name of.
Yeah. There's a couple 9s you could work out.
Yeah. There's a non-zero amount of 9s that if you really wanted to be funny, you could try to play.
But he does also have further effect text. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a level 4 Fire Fist from your deck, except Boar. So just he is a recruiter. He just floats into the next guy.
Yeah,
also,
he's a.
Go ahead.
Is a floater, which honestly, I think makes up for his weird stat line.
Yeah, no, it's like he's basically daring you. He's like saying, "Run me over. You won't do it. Do it.
No balls."
But also he has one last effect. As a soft once per turn, when a Fire Fist monster is special summoned from your extra deck, you can set a Fire Formation spell card directly from your deck. So if you go into extra deck plays as well, and don't use Boar's material, he fetches out another spell.
This is one of those cards that has gotten much better just because of the speed of the game increasing.
Yes.
And how easy it is to just summon Fire Fist monster from your extra deck.
Yeah, I'm about to say, also, thank God they future-proofed him and they didn't say Synchro or Xyz. Obviously, I think they said extra deck because this was already a Synchro and Xyz deck. But it also means that when they added the fucking fusion and the links, it works. So it's a good future-proofing.
It's not the best. It's not the best effect, but it's just a free set. It's a free Tensu. It's a free Tenki. Like again, like a free Tenki is never a bad Tenki.
Oh, also, I haven't brought it up yet because I don't think because that was a part of the Link era support. But while it is not named Fire Formation, their field spell does say it is always treated as a Fire Formation card. So anything that says you can set one of them.
I figured that was the case when I looked up Fire Formations earlier and saw the field spell, but I never read what it did.
Yeah, no. So that also means that anything that can set a Fire Formation spell can also grab your field spell if you need it.
Which can set a field spell, which just in general, setting a field spell is the funniest way to get the field spell on board.
Yeah. So like it's part of the action, part of the sauce. All right. So like Boar, pretty normal animal, right? What if Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Caribou?
Yeah.
You know,
But Caribou is, he is the worst part of Boar. He was in the vat a bit too long, I think.
Okay, sorry, I stepped away. I'm talking a lot, so I got to get my water. But yeah, Caribou. He's Caribouing.
Yeah. I guess you just missed me saying it. He was left in the vat a bit too long, I think. If we look at
Yeah.
this guy.
He's definitely, like, we talked about how there's a little bit more of a stylized shift. They're a little more cartoony. This guy's a little too cartoony. He's like definitely got some stuff going on with his face and
his proportions just feel wrong.
Yeah, his shoulders are enormous. This guy would be perfectly at home getting his ass beat by Kenshiro or Jonathan Joestar. You know,
I mean, even like he looks like he has those One Piece proportions, where sometimes Oda just decides to draw this guy who has a static height of like 6'5" as 15 feet tall.
Yeah, no, the move where you're just like, this guy is automatically the tallest man in the room.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, so his name in the OCG is Mo Ense Tenre, Fierce Flame Star Tenre. The Re is in reindeer, so he is literally reindeer in the OCG.
Again, another weird name shift, but I guess they just wanted one excuse to use the word caribou.
Also, I think him saying caribou is like, that feels a little more, tough than being like, ah yes, I am of the Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, reindeer. It doesn't work.
Interesting. I'm trying to parse out what this trivia on Caribou's page means.
Oh, okay. Let me look at the page myself as well.
Although still being in an OCG card, this monster's first appearance in the TCG was in this card's artwork, which I think is Five Brothers Explosion or Yoko? Oh
yes,
my god.
The grammar is very weird.
Okay, Omega, I know we said we weren't going to look at the fire formations. Pull up Yoko real quick, please.
Okay, I see it. You want me to pull up the Yoko art on screen right now?
I think we can talk about Yoko real quick because they've done my boy horrendously.
Oh no! Oh, speaking of, while I'm sure chat knows that I am not a One Piece head, I don't want to speak ill of Oda's art, but definitely this Yoko gives me like background action shot of a One Piece panel. Like you're not supposed to linger on this look. What is happening here? These men are both spherical.
Why did Boar like gain 500 pounds?
These men are orbs. Why?
Oh no!
Also, what are the animal spirits of these guys drinking? Like, look at how roided out the reindeer looks. Like
they are incredibly angry. But we don't have to talk about what Yoko does. But I will say, Yoko is the one you set after you get your 3 Tenki.
Yeah. Yoko is again, an okay one.
Yoko is the Yoko. When you play it, discard a target a card on your opponent's field. Discard a Beast Warrior, and you can pop it.
Yeah. One of your removal options.
Yeah, it's fun removal, and the main thing about all these fire formations, all of them sound very situational, but remember that half the cards we've read search a fire formation, so yeah, they're not that hard to get.
It builds a toolbox.
Yeah.
So yeah, Carib. Also, you're right, by the way, on the grammar on that. It's fucking weird. Although still being an OCG card, this monster, it should be Monsters, by the way, wiki. First appearance in TCG.
I read it and I knew what it was trying to say, but I just could not comprehend
it.
Yeah.
I guess that means that either Yoko or Five Brothers Explosion came out first. In the TCG
I would not
anyway.
Be surprised.
May have been like one of them was maybe like a sneak peek card or something. Anyway, Caribou is another level 4 Beast Warrior. He has 1100 attack, just like Boar.
Fire Brothers was part of the Tachyon Galaxy. Tachyon Galaxy set. which was a few months before
Okay,
Judgment of
so
the
yeah,
Light, when they got
we did
more
some moving
cards.
around. Caribou, though, has 2K defense, so he has the big booty. During the end phase, if this card's in the graveyard because it was destroyed by a card effect and sent there this turn, you can special summon a level 4 Fire Fist monster from your deck except Caribou. If this card is sent to the graveyard for the Synchro Summon of a Fire Fist monster, which is the one we're going to talk about later because you can't make Horse Prince with this guy. It doesn't work out that way. There's no level 2 tuner. Actually, no, I guess you could run a Fire level 2 tuner, but that would be very complicated. Anyway, you can set a Fire Formation spell directly from your deck. If you
like I can certainly think of a few level 2 Fire tuners on the top of my head, but it gets finicky out.
Are the Fire Resonators 2s or are they 3s? There's a couple of Fire Resonators. You could run some Resonator packages in this, I'm sure.
Red Resonator is a 2, and he does let you summon a level 4 monster from your hand, which is in fact
yeah, no, you would probably consider, if you were playing the Synchro toolbox of this, you would probably consider Red Resonator. Resonators are good.
And
also, hey, by the way,
it's a special summon, which can trigger, like,
yeah.
I keep bringing him up because he's the best card in the deck. You can bring up, it can get Rooster.
Yeah, well, we will get to Rooster.
We will get to Rooster eventually.
Also, hey, I don't want to go about the full OCG list, but I would like to wish everybody a hearty Rip Bozo to King Calamity. The OCG has put him in jail. I suspect the TCG will probably follow along shortly.
Yeah, as an off tangent, since he was brought up, King Calamity is one of those cards that was printed, he was printed right before everyone went sicko mode, and King Calamity is the true shenanigan man of the extra deck.
Yeah.
When he hits the board, the opponent stops doing things.
Yeah,
you will let me combo.
It is one of those cases of a card that is like, in archetype, was a good ender, because we've talked about all the fucking Signer Dragons before.
It's been a while, so I don't remember what it does.
But King Calamity is a card that, in its own archetype, is enough of a pain in the ass to summon that he was not problematic. But now that any Synchro deck worth its salt can go into Crimson Dragon and then do him on your opponent's turn is just big oof.
Yeah, so Axe, when King Calamity hits the board, your opponent can activate effects for the rest of the turn. You will let me combo. You have no more say in the matter.
And if you do it on your opponent's turn, you just are like,
if you don't
cease.
Doing your opponent's turn, it's turn skip.
Yeah. You are done now. And obviously that's a case where he very clearly was not meant to be used that way. But it's the same as, like, doing the fucking Raid Raptor rank ups into Kali Yuga on your opponent's turn.
Like it's the same as any random card like that gets banned, like the Tyrant Neptune and every other card like that. Like, these cards are never designed to be played like this, but because we are in a game that most cards can access generic things in that sense of how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is played, they become problems.
Anyway, it is finally time to talk about Rooster. Here he is.
Yes, I've buried the lead for like 3 hours. This is the best card in the deck, guys.
No, once again, as usual, I've pulled up to get the assets from Master Duel. This guy is a UR in Master Duel for a reason.
He was a secret rare in Light of the Judgment.
Yeah. Also, this guy was good enough that when they did that legacy support in Fist of the Gadgets, he got reprinted. Like, this is definitely one of your more essential cards. So art-wise, Rooster's pretty good. Like, again, we're going back to slightly more skinny guys for Bird. But not too skinny.
He falls in the I'm trying to think of the right words right now, because like I'm trying not to say the same things we've been saying about all the other guys, but he honestly has a bit of every other. He has a few bits of every other kind of pairing we've seen, because as of this point he does not have a second to his pair.
Yeah,
he's the only 15 hundo Fire Fist, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And that is kind of funny because the character he's based off, his name, by the way, in Japanese is Ritsu Ensei Toke, Steadfast Flamestar Dongji, based off the character with the slightly funny name Dongping in the water margin, but he is the 15th of the Heavenly Spirits, so he has 1500 attack.
And if it wasn't obvious, he is Chicken, and not Rooster, but Potato, as the OCG is known to say at this point.
And also, it's one of those cases where while Rooster is not the most dignified, I do think that Rooster is more dignified than Chicken. You know?
Yeah. Oh, and so someone copy pasted that little trivia bit about being in the OCG first appearance.
Yeah, because he was in Five Brothers Explosion too.
All the guys from Five Brothers Explosion have that little bit in their
Yeah.
Trivia page.
Also, apparently, in the OCG anyway, this was the first Fire Fist monster to see the limited list. That's how good this guy is.
Yeah, this guy. It reaches effect actually. Let's
Listen,
stop.
his art's okay. It's pretty good, but there's not a lot to add other than that I do like his little fucking rooster hair clip. That's cool.
Yeah, like his little hair clip and tassels and his extra belt thing that have that orange aesthetic. I like. It's good.
He's got some stuff. It's fun. But what Rooster does is Rooster is a level 3, 1500 attack, which is 4, 100 defense. When this card is special summoned by the effect of a Fire Fist monster, add a Fire Fist monster from your deck to your hand. You use this effect of Rooster once per turn. Soft once per turn.
So notice.
One more effect. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, right. Regis last effect.
Yeah, he has a second effect. Once per turn. Again, soft once per turn on that second effect. You can send a face-up Fire Formation spell or trap you control to the graveyard. Send a Fire Formation spell trap from your deck.
Yes, he does everything. He just does everything.
This is your Swiss Army knife monster. When you special it through a Fire Fist effect, which there are lots of ways to do.
It will be Spirit 9 times out of 10, probably.
But that means that you can just search any other Fire Fist guy, any guy you need, you've got him. And then just once per turn while he's on the field, you can pick a Fire Formation spell trap you've already used its effect for and just send it, which is pretty good.
Well, do note that he is not rekindleable, but by no means does that make him not super easy to recycle.
Yeah, no. There's lots of ways to cycle these guys out.
I will plug us. If you ever watch any of our prog, I believe it was Secret Forces where I came back in swinging with this deck, and we got to see how Fire Fist can be played at not even a high level, just like when you have the full toolbox available to Fire Fist, they can do a lot of things that would be shocking, especially in the limited format, I think.
Because I'm pretty sure throughout the actual Xyz format, probably up until Attack Galaxy, where I almost assuredly tried to pivot to D-Rulers, because I'm the Dragon Man. But Dallas and I both tried to make Fire Fist work with like our individual pulls, and it was never quite there for us, I don't think. I'm pretty sure, people can double-check me on the stats, but I'm pretty sure the Xyz era was also one of Dallas's slump eras. It absolutely was, I think, one of my big slumps. Probably not as bad as GX, but I do not recall many of my Xyz era decks winning.
Yeah, if by any chance the people watching this have not seen that, I will just say I had 3 Rooster, and you can figure out how the rest of that went.
Yeah. Also, honestly, they keep giving, we've talked about this before, but Fire's being very pushed in this upcoming, probably 6-month period. The OCG has, previewed a card that will release in, I think, our next core set in the TCG.
Big Link 3?
No, not just the Link 3, but also they added Oil, which is a normal spell trap, which just adds 2 level 4 or lower fire monsters from your graveyard to your hand. It's salvage, but for fires. So.
What?
Yeah, no.
I bet you've seen it a while ago.
No, Oil is just salvage for fires. They also added, it's not relevant to Fire Fist, but they added basically a Rhoda for pyros.
I think I'm going to be playing TCG again, guys.
Listen, there's some good fire shit. It's all coming up fire.
I think I need to build a fire deck.
I'm amazed you didn't know about it for over 2 months ago.
I mean, it's still only out in the OCG. It's, the set for the TCG hasn't come out.
I had not paid that much attention to Yu-Gi-Oh! Recently, especially OCG specific things.
Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily help that, while we do post every bit of news from, YGO organization, sometimes they choose very weird preview images and names for their URLs, so it's, not easy to tell what they're about, always. So, they probably made some joke about it being called Oil, because that is kind of a funny thing to just name a card. Very old-school Yu-Gi-Oh! Shit. I think it might even be from one of the mangas, but, yeah, no, there's... Fire is going to be good this year, and so
I will say from this point on, Rooster sets the tone of we'll just start getting Fire Fist guys without a pairing, and they will probably just be really good cards.
Yeah. And I mean, once again, there's 108 of these fuckers in the water margin. If they just want to make up a guy to be the attack pair later, I'm sure they can make it work.
Oh yeah, like I mean, eventually they'll run out of attack numbers, so they'll have to make a pairing if they want to if they do keep making Fire Fist guys. Because in theory, they can go up to 3,600 or like what, 5,400 if they were insane psychos.
Yeah, they won't do that, but they have plenty of room to do some things. So, they also got their Secund Synchro.
Who is
Keaton.
He's
He's all right.
He's funny. He's I mean, it's Guan Yu, guys. Like, what else can I say?
Yeah.
Am I getting the name right?
This is he is Koensei Ryunshinki, so Strength Flame Star Lijun.
Okay, yes. He is just Guan Yu.
He's like the secret. He just feels like it's the vibe like he's like the secret leader, or he's just like the weird dark faction.
So he is Lu Junyi. He is number 2 in the Heavenly Spirits. So after Tiger King.
Yeah. So
and he is the Jade
King,
Unicorn.
Tiger King is like one of the. It makes sense that the big guys have the most intimidating.
Yeah.
Looks.
But yeah, no. This guy. Boy, is he a guy. He does look very sinister, but yeah, he's just chilling. He's got a Keenan. He's got his big green coat. He clearly plays Summoner in Final Fantasy XIV, because Summoners are all stuck with the horn.
It's interesting, just random like actual mythological trivia in Kieran's trivia page. Like not even related to Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just outright mythological trivia about the Keelan.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy is a guy.
Well, again, like
He looks alright.
not much to say about him. He has a dope aesthetic.
Yeah.
But it's like it's Guan Yu, guys. You can't fuck up Guan Yu.
He's kind of sinister.
Yeah.
But in a different way than like Snake is. So he just has kind of an aura.
He emits the JoJo menacing aura, but by no means does that mean he's like evil.
So you may think from how imposing he is, you may be a little surprised by his stat line. So this guy is your 8 synchro, your sync 8, 2,000 attack, 2,800 defense. So he is defense leaning,
and he is a weird double. He is double locked.
So he requires a fire tuner and then 1 or more non-tuner Fire Fist monsters. So obviously much easier to set up, running your normal archetype, but hypothetically you could be splashing some other engines to make it work. But yeah,
but I can see why they thought they needed to do this with how he's designed.
So this card has 2 effects basically. First, when this card is synchro summoned, you can set a Fire Formation spell trap directly from your deck. Also, all monsters your opponent control lose 100 attack for each face-up spell trap card you control. So this guy is basically the
Plezios.
Yeah, the Plezios type effect. I was also going to think of Shizuku, the Water Sky Striker, as opposed to Kagri with the attack boost effect, right? Like, this guy makes all your opponent's monsters small, and your guys are already likely being embiggened by your face-up spell traps.
I can see the way this guy is built. They thought, okay, we don't want people to summon 3 Kirin in 1 turn.
Yeah.
And we end up with like another random chill because we've been watching it, so it's in our heads. Like a card like Plezios. If you get 3 Plezios on the field, that attack modulation does actually reach a critical mass.
Yeah, it's a thing that happens, and I can't think of them off the top of my head. But there are definitely other decks that have that kind of like stat reduction where it's just like, well, all my guys are like smaller by 500 now, and your guys are big, so guess I'll die.
Yeah, and like it's like 1 Kirin by himself is okay. If by some reason you're an insane man and you want to do triple Kirin strat, it probably could become. It will become a problem for the. It will become a problem for the.
Well,
opponent.
especially because his when synchro summoned effect is not a once per turn at all. So
Yeah.
if you summon multiple Kirins, admittedly it is only on Synchro Summon, but still, if you sync manage multiple Kirins, each of that is a set directly from deck, which if those are all spell cards that you can activate, that is, once again, becoming, you know, -100, -100, -100. It just keeps stacking.
It's setting up a 1200 deficiency because you're getting the -900 and the +300, which the numbers sound small on paper, but legitimately, like when you are playing against a deck that does this,
It adds up.
It is very quadratical. My brain can't think of the right words. Exponential.
Exponential, yeah. It grows exponentially, yes.
Yeah, it will get out of hand before you realize it, and then you're boned. But he's fine. Like, look, he's okay.
And then Fire Fists basically take a nap. They were relevant right up until you know, getting close to butting up on penned format, and then they were no longer relevant. I don't know if that was just because of like a Rooster limit, but also
it would not surprise me if Rooster being limited killed the deck, because Rooster is an insane.
Rooster's a great consistency booster, but also just once again, and you can see it as well to shill pen to get Prog again. The transition, the Duelist Alliance, and the next couple of sets after that transition period for Yu-Gi-Oh is wild. Like it happened to coincide with a lot of paradigm shifts.
Looking at it, Rooster and Spirit were hit, which I guess makes sense. I didn't even think about that.
Oh yeah, the Wombo combo. Okay,
that would definitely put
definitely
Rooster and Spirit to one for like they were all looking at it from 2013 on up until the end of like the beginning of 2015.
Yeah.
So for a good 2 years they were limited, but they were still getting tops, just being resource.
Yeah, you would still that was the era of the 4-axis, and eventually the trap trick combo, like just playing 4s. It was the definitely then probably the penned transition where it was just like not enough gas.
Yeah, they just ended up getting power crept like many of that era of play, like Bujins, Fire Fist. A lot of these decks that worry about tempo, and Pendulum comes in going, we get tempo every turn. Like, there's no tempo, you can't get rid of us.
Yes, all gas, baby. But all right, so that means that, like I said, Fire Fists kind of go dormant for a while. But in the Link era, like a lot of old decks pre-Links, Konami remembers they exist, and it's like, shit, these guys need some support.
Link monster that has 2 arrows facing diagonally down.
But also they gave him a lot of other shit. We're going to start with the Ritual. Yes, they gave Fire Fist a Ritual.
Who is our boy, Ensing, or Yan King if you're a savage.
Yeah. Ko Ensei, Eransei, Skillful Flame Star, Eland King. I'm trying to double-check the trivia page. I'm not sure what animal...
He is the Skillful Star, so we're not surprised me that's what his trivia is about.
Let's see, Young King.
Yeah, he has nothing in his trivia page.
Yeah, he's just the Wandering Star.
It might be this point on, but the trivia page just is not addendum anymore, because they're not new, but they're recent enough that people probably just stopped, like the whatever.
Yeah. So aesthetically, like his color scheme and also the fire formation he is on is meant to kind of parallel Keaton. So I assume his animal is supposed to be one of those Keaton adjacent things. I think it looks like it has antlers, but it's very vague. It's like some sort of vague shadow almost.
Yeah, it's some kind of shadow that, I mean, it might not cast. It's some kind of thing that doesn't cast a shadow. I don't fucking remember how it goes.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head now.
He's got a pretty
what is
sick
this whole
crossbow.
deal in the water margin, actually?
You're asking the wrong person. Do I look like Dallas to you?
Sorry, it feels like there's like... I've always been
I don't think there's been a
doppelganger.
5-star from the water margin yet, so I haven't had to cross that bridge in Wanted yet.
Looking in the most vaguest of sense, he is the last among the 36 heavenly spirits, so he is the weakest. He was just some man's steward, and he rooted the crossbow. That is, like, looking at his page.
Yep.
There's a lot that like discusses him, but nothing that mentions him doing cool things.
He's just a guy, and I
He
mean
was
that's
the Wanderer.
that's how this looks. I mean he
Yeah.
looks like he's got a pretty good like setup, with the crossbow. He's got the horn thing, the ponytail, but he's got a cool guy scarf. So he's looking pretty good.
This is the Fire Fist Hot Boy done well. We have reached the PS4 era Hot Boy.
Yes, we actually it's the year 2019. We actually have graphics.
Yeah.
So yes, we're definitely leaning into the pretty boy type aspect, I think, a little better. So, Eland is a level 6 ritual beast warrior, 2400 attack, 2000 defense. So, kind of the inverse to Keaton, but they were like, shit, we can't give this guy 2800 attack.
And we don't want to make a level 8 ritual because that will suck in this deck.
Yes. You can ritual summon this card with fire formation Dome. Dome, by the way, is another continuous trap, so it's very funny.
It's a fire formation spell that just lets your ritual summon Elend on activation.
Its activation effect is to ritual summon.
God, that just reminds me, like, why do they never make ritual traps or traps?
Well,
that would require a new
thing too
symbol.
is that actually, wait, so this we'll just cover. Do you want to just bring up Dome since it's relevant to this guy at least, and it does weird things.
I can pull up the art and we can talk because it is again 2019. Entirely different kind of crack cocaine Yu-Gi-Oh. Like
the old fire formations just like do a thing. Like Tenki, we mentioned it. It adds a beast warrior. Tensu, it's an extra normal summon.
Yeah.
Like they are fairly basic, and we don't have to tell you why that is good.
You know what's up. It's the extra normal you need in your Xyz or Synchro deck, or it's the search anything. Even Yoko is like, well, that's a pop once you've activated it. You know.
Yoko's a pop that also sets up plays. Like it discards
Puts
your
in
buffalo
graveyard,
or whatever the hell.
Or puts a 3 in grave so you can spirit summon.
Yep.
Like it does graveyard setup. Dome, which obviously again we can see, our two guys, hanging out, having fun. But Dome says, when this card is activated, you can ritual summon one Beast Warrior ritual monster from your hand by tributing monsters in your hand or field whose levels equal or exceed its level. Thank God it is not exact. That would be very awkward, especially because this is a deck that plays a lot of 4s.
It's deck that it plays varying levels of 4s and 3s, and 6 would never happen.
Yeah, it would be very awkward. Also, if this face-up card is sent from the spell trap zone to the graveyard, target a Fire Fist monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use this effective Dome once per turn. You only activate one Dome per turn.
This thing does not have an attack modulation on it, but it's not a card you would feel bad about playing.
Yeah. Because you can just set it up even if you don't have the ritual spell, if you just want to get it on board for things. Because it's just you can. So it's not a mandatory ritual summon if you just want to play a card face up. But also, just fucking, it reborns when you float it, when you send it. If you send it off something, or if your opponent blows it up. So, like, it's just good. So, Eland, can be ritual summoned that way. You can discard one monster, set a Fire Formation spell trap directly from your deck or graveyard. So Eland is discard one, reset any Fire Formation spell trap. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, send a face-up Fire Fist or Fire Formation card you control to the graveyard except Eland. Negate that effect. You guys each effective Eland once per turn.
Just send Dome.
Yeah, no. Eland is... It's really weird to say this about the one ritual monster in this archetype, but Eland is a pretty good card. He is a once per turn negate. He lets you discard a card to do that graveyard setup we talked about to fish a Fire Formation spell trap from either your deck or graveyard.
Yeah, so this unearthed the core memory, Omega.
Yeah.
Do you remember at one point where we were just fucking around? I made a Fire Fist deck, and I just decided, you know what I'm gonna do? I'll make a board with one Xyz, one Ritual, one Fusion, everything Fire Fist monster. The deck was not built to do that. I just managed to do it because that's what Fire Fist can do now.
Yeah, I think I do vaguely remember something like that. Fire Fist was definitely one of the decks that just, in the pre-prog days when we would just play Yu-Gi-Oh! To fuck around in, which was fun in its own right, that was probably one of the things that happened.
Yeah, like, Fire Fist it is legitimately insane. Like the deck is not meta competitive by any means.
No.
Again, that like it's just a different era. It's just a different game of Yu-Gi-Oh at this point. But Fire Fist are still an insanely modern proofed archetype in terms of how they play.
Yeah. And absolutely, if you ever wanted to, return to Monkey, return to Fire Fist, and play them at like your locals or with your friends, hell, if you want to do some talking about cubes, you want to do some higher end cubes, you can include some like Beast Warrior strats and have some Fire Fists in there,
Yeah, like
honestly, I was kind of wondering if we could at least test out a cube afterwards because I'm just curious.
we can look at it.
We can brush some stuff. Probably not on stream because we're at 2.5 hours.
I mean, it was after this is over.
We're getting close. We're in the final wave of support, but
yeah, like Fire Fist is absolutely a deck similar to like Photon or anything. You can one trick that and just go buck wild in whatever format you feel like. And if you learn the lines enough, you can probably crush some meta shit. But it requires the effort. It's one of those high ceiling decks.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to move on to our next one from this wave of support. This is Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Elephant. This guy's name in the OCG is Shun Ensei Zose, Handsome Flame Star, Elephant Ching. His name.
He came in.
Yeah, no. We've. It took until 2019, but we've cracked the pretty boy code.
Yeah. I will say this man's not an elephant.
No.
Like, the most he has is his helmet, I guess.
Yeah, his hair kind of forms like a sort of elephant trunk reverse. And his hat kind of has the ears, but this guy's way too skinny to call him an elephant normally. They
should have like they should have righted the wrongs they made with Boar and made a chunky lad.
I mean, also I would just say if you want to make this guy more elephant, just give him some like on his little cheek guards, give him some forward spikes, give him some tusks there.
Yeah, like the most I can get is like his pose, I guess, mimics an elephant's trunk because it's extending out, but that's kind of reaching now.
Great. We went way more on the handsome flame star part than the elephant pun, which is fine.
Mm-hmm. He looks nice. He does not have a trivia page to begin with, apparently.
On Wikipedia he does, maybe not on the fandom wiki.
I'm on the Yu-Gi-Oh fandom.
Yeah. The Wikipedia says that he's named after Song Ching, who is ranked 76th among the hero and among the 40th among the 72 earthly fiends. He is nicknamed the Iron Fan, hence why he uses a fan. And actually, he is the younger brother of Song Jiang, which I believe is the basis for Tiger King. Yeah.
It lists Tiger King, yeah.
Yeah, so, again, really weird that he's elephant and not some other kind of, like, cat.
Like Panther or something?
Yeah, but he is a 4, so he is a valid material for Tiger King. Otherwise, he's just a normal guy. Like the color scheme, kind of the gold.
Yeah,
is there a tiger?
The mix of
I think Tiger King counts as tiger.
I don't know if I like the purple. It feels like one color too many, but it does not destroy the design.
It doesn't clash. I think it's a little. If anything, it's because it's a little too little purple. It's like just a very vague hint. It's just a little bit of spice, and it's like, you could have just not done an extra color then.
Yeah, that could have just been gold or the other, like a white color.
This guy is already white, black, and majority color gold with the kind of like weird orange highlights.
He's already white, black, red, and gold, and we just threw a splash of purple in there on top of the bright bluish white color behind him.
Yeah.
There's too many colors on a card.
But yeah, so Elephant is a level 4, like I mentioned earlier. He's got 1,000 attack, 1,800 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, that's right, it took us a while to find another normal summon, but he's here. You can send a face-up Fire Formation spell trap you control the graveyard, special summon a Fire Fist from your hand, except Elephant. So you can't chain elephants. Not that it matters, because he is we've discovered Hopts exist, but still. He is just automatically a second guy. He's what you call it? Like that one, is it Ascended Sage is the one who automatically summons another 4?
A Summoner? You mean Summoner Monk?
Well, Summoner Monk, yes, also. Is Summoner Monk, do you have to discard to do that? Or is it
Summoner
just
does have a
four?
cost.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Summoner Mark also.
ZS, ZS Ascended Sage.
Yeah, I was thinking of there's a couple of ZS cards in Utopia that also do this one. But
Ascended
this is
Sage.
just-
If you control a card, special this card from your hand. He's
okay,
just.
it's the other one. I don't remember his name, but yeah, basically Elephant is just automatically another 4. If you want it to be. Also, you can target a Fire Formation spell trap in your graveyard, shuffle it to the deck. You can add 1 level 5 or higher Fire Fist monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn.
I can't wait to add Swallow to my hand, guys.
Yeah, that's not really helpful.
Ellen.
That said, especially because, running shit like... Because Axe did mention this earlier, there is an awkwardness when you do ritual stuff that is not ritual spell cards, because it means that some of your generic ritual support doesn't work. That doesn't matter for Fire Fists, because Fire Formations are themselves inherently searchable, but you probably can't run pre-prep in this deck, right? So Elephant
There's no way.
Elephant as just the Elan Searcher works out perfectly well as well. You can just be like, yeah, search that guy. Get him in here.
Well, okay. I don't know if he's in this set. There is actually level 5 you may want to add that we'll get to in a second.
Oh yeah, no, that guy would be in this set as well. Okay. That's good. I just didn't remember him. But yeah, so Elephant seems like a decent piece of support. He's just, if you normal or special him, you can send a Fire Formation to just get a guy. Hey, if you use Tenki to search Elephant, it goes. The combo goes.
He's a hard once per turn on both effects.
Yes.
But
you can use each effect per
really
turn. So you activate Tenki, search Elephant. Normal Elephant, send Tenki to special another guy, then use Elephant's effect to immediately shuffle back Tenki, add a guy.
Which might be Elend or anyone else. Like if you get Dome, it
flows.
This is one of those cards that does so much the same way Rooster does, to where it opens a spreadsheet. It opens the DDD spreadsheet of moves for this deck to do.
I think I like this guy better when I couldn't see his face in detail. Let's talk about Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Pander.
Oh yeah, I saw Panda, and I'm already liking what's going on behind him.
No, his flaming heavy metal ass Panda, that's cool. I'm also shocked it took us so long to get to Panda. His weird soft face and big anime eyes with his facial hair is a little weird to me.
Okay, now that I'm looking at it, he has 2 faces.
Yeah.
He has a top face and a bottom face, and they are...
Yeah. He's giving me, the handsome anime man bedroom eyes, but then he's also got, yes, I have facial hair. That said, the rest of this design, pretty good. The black and gold, good look.
Again, we're...
Nice.
Like the fur trim, it hits a really nice, just mix of a winter warrior man.
Yeah.
Like this guy fights up in Hokkaido, right? Would be the.
Yeah, that would be I believe that would be the cold side.
Well, and also, I'm for the most part, I think all the fire spirits have been one color. I'm glad they let Panda be white and black. That looks sick.
The 2-color effect is really good. Also, it's kind of interesting that it looks like he's there's steam or something billowing behind him. He's got the fire, but also it looks like he's parting water or melting snow. There's just something going on in the background that's a little different from the fire, and I'm like, that's cool. Also, just in general, really good notes about his costume and stuff.
He is nicknamed the River Dragon, which I guess is probably what the water aesthetic mixed in with
he's
his
probably
winter.
in a river.
Yeah.
So Panda is this is the one we mentioned earlier. This is your new level 5. We're trying to make this good. He is 2100, 400 defense. If you activate a Fire Formation spell trap, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card. Then you can special summon a Fire Fist monster from your graveyard, except Panda. But then you are locked to Fire Fists. If a Fire Fist monster you control be destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can send a face-up Fire Formation spell trap to the graveyard instead. You can only use each effect once per turn. Talking about that, the kind of funny effects you could modulate for, Sync 9s, I think Panda opens that up a lot better.
Yeah, Panda is actually the way you would summon, well, you wouldn't be able to summon Charles or anything if you use his mainline effect, but would still be he's a 5.
Yeah.
And
you can bring him out super easily. If he lingers, you can leave the lock. Because guess what? Hey, you're going to activate Fire Formation spell traps. You're going to do it.
Yeah, like, this is the freest 5 of all time.
And if you had any excuse to put guys in your graveyard already, he is instantly also bringing those guys back.
Yeah, like, hey,
these are all
did you dump a rooster in the grave? Not anymore, you didn't.
Yeah, just suck it all back. And of course, I mean, the replacement
Actually,
effect
I think
is
rooster
not...
would miss timing. Never mind.
Oh, because of some wins? Maybe. This guy is an if, and then you can, and you can, and you can.
You continue discussing.
Yeah. I was also going to say, replacement effects are not the greatest, especially because it is a hopped, but it is the kind of thing where, like, we're in 2019, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a lot more reactive. If your opponent tried to do something to disrupt your Fire Formation plays, like, you know, they see you, you know, playing a Fire Fist guy, and they, you know, try to activate some kind of thing to stop you. They're like, wait, I see you're going to put 2 guys on board. Don't do that. I'm going to pop you. You could be like, no, you're not. I'm going to send
also
my
reread. Rooster would not miss timing.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
So,
it's very funny to me that I guess it was just because 2019 was so gassed, that, like, Fire Fist don't seem to have come back, like, at all. Because, like, every one of these cards we're reading are like, these are good. These are good cards.
Yeah, we were able to print, like, 4 or 5 of these guys that like, it, like, even in Pandora would have said you win the game if you're playing Fire Fist now. But now, they can just have these cards, and they're just another, like, they're in that sea of, like, tier 3, tier 4, which means nothing at that point. But
our next of these new boys, it's Ram.
Yeah, that the sea of off tier rogue.
Yeah. It Ram.
I dig this guy. Again, like all of these new designs have been hits. They're finding ways to vary up the designs.
To me, it looks like another Fire Fist.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a good one. Like, this is definitely no notes. Yeah,
anything good about it either.
Yeah,
there's nothing really to add other than I would like to say I do like his horns. Those are very nice. But yeah, he's just
and a war.
Nothing to add. It's using bits and pieces of plenty of other Fire Fist designs, but it does not feel derivative, I guess. Best way to phrase it.
Yeah, it feels like its own thing.
Yeah, and they've managed to make the fact that his animal is Ram and not make him, like, derpy in any way. You know, he still looks the part.
Yeah, which I believe it's Sheep, which his name is just yeah. All right, this is good to it.
The resourceful strategist, yeah, that makes sense for his look. So his name in the OCG is Kai Ensei Shibu. Leader Flamestar Shiwu. Yeah, very funny.
Hey, and he is one of the guys just tucked away in the background of the Omni, which I think is all of the guys with fans, I think.
Yeah. So Ram is we've got a new 3 for you. A new 3 to play. He is 800 attack, 200 defense. Got that magical number.
Irritable.
Yep. When this card is normal summoned, once again, we're remembering that normal summons are fun. You can discard a card, target a Fire Formation spell trap you control, set a Fire Formation spell trap with a different name directly from your deck. If this card is special summoned by the effect of a Fire Fist monster, you can set a Fire Formation spell trap directly from your deck with a different name from the cards in your graveyard. You can only each effective Ram once per turn. So Ram is just like, get your weird ones out. You got some shit that's not in your rotation yet, fish them out.
Are you just playing that 1 of 10 cent to be funny? All right, get out of the deck.
Get out of your deck. You don't want to draw that shit. Get it out of here. Get it on the board. It's not the greatest card ever, but it's very compatible with the stuff that's come from before, and like him being the tactician, right, makes sense because this is how you get your tech cards. This is how you're like, okay, I need that weird 1 of Fire Formation for this.
And because looking among them, they're like, again, there are plenty of even old Fire Formations. Like the trap cards are not, again, they're not bad. Like we're not going to go over all of them.
No.
But like they're all designed to do a very specific thing.
Yeah. And now I believe we are going to get into the extra deck because we have 3 new of these.
We might bring up 1 more Fire Formation because just like with if do you want to do the fusion first?
Yeah, we can bring up the fusion first. That makes sense. Swan should be
later,
also
bring up
but
1 more Fire Formation.
yeah, we should talk about because of course, Fire Fists have a Fire Formation that is their fusion spell. How could they not?
Why would they not? Which is like, and Ram facilitates you doing the ritual or fusion because if it's not in rotation, just get that out of the deck. You don't want to draw it.
Yeah.
Set it up. Set it
Just
up to get it done.
and be ready. And it's set, so you don't have to activate it right away. But
Yes.
this majestic lad is Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Swan. In the OCG, he is Fuense Hakuento, Wealth Flame Star, Swan Ying. Going full punzo there.
Big dude.
He
Those rules
has the
actually are
striking
not
form, which
important
is
at all.
even funnier that he is the
Yeah.
Swan.
It just means he's probably got ups of his legs.
And so let us bring out a preview for a future card we will discuss later. But the fire formation that corresponds to this is Ingen, and you can see him doing swan shit on there with another future card.
Oh right, I was like, who is that? And I remember.
Yeah.
Like, we
One of
haven't
our
seen her yet.
links, future. We'll get into that. So Ingen is very simple. It says when this card is activated, you can fusion summon a Beast Warrior fusion to your action deck by sending hand or field as materials. If this card is sent from the face-up spell trap zone to the graveyard, you can target a Fire Fist in your graveyard, add it back to your hand. You can only use Ingen's second effect once per turn and can only activate one per turn. But yeah.
Domi was the same with on activate once per turn as well,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like as you can tell with these new design, like these new cards, they are still applying the obvious should be like modern restrictions for these cards. But again, they're good cards, and you would probably play one to begin with in your deck.
Yeah.
And Ram allows you to just get the weird one out, like
Yeah.
get the one out of the deck, which is
When you're
why
ready
you
to
would
fusion
go
summon,
try
you
to
can
play
set
these
it.
cards.
And I do also appreciate, while it is obviously type locked to Beast Warriors, it is still generic. You can, I don't know if there are any good Beast Warrior fusions, but if they existed, you could make them.
I will look that up now.
But looking at Swan himself, yeah, he is I can see why he's the Wealth Star. He's very dapper. He's got a huge coat, big square shoulders, funny hat. He does look a little bit like, if he wasn't holding a spear, I might think he's going for a dunk right now. But I also suspect, based on the art of Ingen, he looks kind of like he can just kind of fly around, Wirefu, Wuxia style. Just kind of scoot around if he feels like it.
It's interesting how his design feels oddly simplified in Ingen compared to how he looks in his regular artwork. And Peacock didn't really get that treatment as when we see her later.
Yeah, he looks a little different. The colors are a little different as well. Like
also, there
shadings.
are not that many funny Beast Warrior fusions unless you want to count the Luna Lights.
I mean, sadly, I don't think that Wombo combo works, but that would be very funny to play like a small Fire Fist package and an Ingen in there, just so you could get another fusion spell in Luna Light.
It'd be really, really fun. Just jumps your opponent with Ingen.
And you're just like, what? And then you're like, by the way, Leo Dancer. You're dead. Yeah. A buff Catwoman says, "Omae wa mo shinderu."
But yeah, Swan is... Actually, did we read Swan's effect?
No, we're not talking about Swan. He is an 8 fusion, 2600 attack, 2200 defense. He is completely generic, 2 Beast Warriors. Just any 2 Beast Warriors get in there, which is pretty decent for a fusion.
No. You play Ingen to cowboy your opponent for game with Luna Lights.
Well, it would work. If this card is special summoned, so that does just mean that you can do it even if you're bringing him back, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each fire formation spell trap you control. This is a time card!
Time card, baby.
During the battle phase, quick effect, you can send a face-up fire formation you control to the graveyard. Target one card your opponent controls. Destroy it. Each effective once per turn. So it's a little awkward to put that in the battle phase, but it is a quick effect, so, that can be a funny piece of disruption. And yes, this is just, it can go as high as, 1k damage. Probably only doing
1200 because of the field spell.
Oh yes, that's right. The field spell would it's you control, so it's not spell trap zone, so it would count the field spell.
And it counts as a fire formation as well.
Yeah,
which is fun.
So yeah, no, yeah, that's, I mean, not a great amount of burn damage, but that can make the difference between, you know, if you're doing game math and not. And also, like we said, that does make it a time card. Just fish up an Ingen, summon a Swan. You can, you know, chip your opponent.
It makes it a time card or just a really funny way to dome for a game.
Yeah. So it's perfectly usable. His stats are, you know, considering he's just any 2 Beast Warriors, his stats are decent. And
Stats are decent, and they're going to be modulated anyways because
you know,
like a lot of these New Age Fire Fist monsters are designed to be like this one is generic, but for the most part, the Fire Fists are designed to be played in a Fire Fist deck, of course.
Yeah.
So you're going to be having 2 to 3, not counting your field spell, and your field.
And I think the way the materials work is more, they're generic so that you can play other tech cards with them, you know.
It's not meant to be played in a different deck. It's meant to allow you to use those weird tech choices to still push forward.
But yeah, so Swan is decent, and I mean, again, it's just fucking hilarious. They're like, this is when they decided, the Fire Fists, they get one of every color card. We don't care anymore. The full extra deck rainbow. They're already rainbow themed. So alphabetically, we're going to talk about their other link.
We get to have the links left?
Yeah, it's just the links now, and that's going to be an interesting time. So our first link is Eagle.
Yeah, Eagle was the one I read earlier and went, oh my god, how did they make this card? How could they have printed this one?
So, Chet, you may recall that when we talked about Boojins, we did mention that Boojins did get the mandatory semi-generic Link 2, but it was not that impressive. I think we saved all that sauce for Eagle.
So we made the joke. He's a semi-generic. He needs just Beast Warriors. He's got the down diagonal arrows, the best kind of arrows.
Which is also kind of like how his legs are pointed in this art too. You know, he's kind of like positioned to that formation. Also, I want to say, this guy is also doing the black and white thing with his fire animal, and it is also still fucking sick.
My one issue is that his hair is blue, but it has the shade of white that makes me think it's supposed to be the same effect.
Yeah,
I more feel like it's blue, but he's just gotten old.
Yeah, well, I think that's what's intended, but it feels like it's having the same aesthetic effect.
It should maybe be a little darker to match his eagle spirit more, but the eagle is fucking rad.
Yeah.
His name in the OCG is Ensan
Washington. This is the last guy. This is the guy who is like part of the periphery water margin characters.
He is named after Taoist Luo, who
is Roshin.
Yes, a Taoist sorcerer, and he teaches one of the other guys. He teaches the guy Cardinal is based on, so he's just, their old master type guy. I mean, I don't have any... We're getting to the end of this. We've gone for almost 3 hours. It's a long failed portrayal, but we knew it would be because there's a lot of these fuckers. There's not much to add about how this guy looks. He exists.
And his effect is good. It's really good.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, he is the Link 2 with the arrows. He has 1700 attack. Again, not that it matters. He's just 2 Beast Warrior monsters exactly. You can only special summon Fire Fist Eagle once per turn. That's how you know this guy is good. They don't want you looping him. You can activate Fire Fist monster's effect without sending Fire Fist or Fire Formation cards from your hand or field to the graveyard. Just freebies.
Yeah, so all of those old Fire Fist monsters that required you to go -5, just go off, King.
Just make Eagle and go. Also, you can target a Fire Fist spell trap you control or in your graveyard, return it to your hand, then send a Fire Fist monster from your deck to your graveyard, so he's also foolish for your entire archetype.
Yeah.
Just
He's foolish that recycles your Tenki that you can play to search another card.
Yeah. Though obviously you can't reuse it the same turn because most cards that give you double normal say you can only benefit from the once per turn. But like, you can do a Tensu setup to make him and then just put your Tensu back. But it's he's incredibly powerful. Once again, this deck did not really go anywhere meta-wise. Probably because Eagle is similar to I don't remember which one it was that's the Link 2 for Boojins, but it's all fairly in archetype shit. It's not like, fucking Isold, which is like, hey, when you summon Isold, add a warrior.
Hashima.
Hashima, thank you. Like this one is for a Link 2, this one is fairly relaxed. This is not Verte, this is not Isolt, this is not Hulk. Hey, by the way, all those cards are fucking banned and they deserve it.
Yeah, like Eagle feels like it should have made the deck broken, but in the end, a lot of what Fire Fist does is there still are plenty of effects that
the main problem is that while you were able to pull it off at one point, I think Fire Fist's main problem, looking at it in retrospect, is they want a lot of monsters out on the board, and it's actually really hard to get all those guys out in one single turn.
Yes.
Because, like, boy, you really want Erland on the board because once per turn he's a negate. And he's free if you make him an Eagle. But those are also, that means you gotta go, minus several cards to pull that off. Also, hey, Tiger King can negate everybody for a sweep, but that's another 2 cards, It's... The deck is pretty close, but it needs a lot of gas to go, or you need to do the resource grind, which... Grind games are tough in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! There's only a couple of decks that play that way.
Fire Fist's biggest problem is that they have so much mid-range ability, but they don't have that one blowout card that you can summon every game, and your opponent just can't do anything about.
And unfortunately, their cards are too type-locked to work with generic shit, because, like, hey, guess what? Barone, not a fire. Borreload Savage Dragon, not a fire. Like, Konami has yet to make the bullshit generic extra deck fire monsters that would probably crack Fire Fist open. They're getting close. That Link 3, she's pretty good. She's going to be pretty good for this deck, especially because you have 2 Link 2s.
I have no doubt you will see plenty of random ass fire decks just nabbing tops at locals and like top 8 regional stuff.
Yeah.
Just because like when you make the fire engine that can just go forever, it can make all of these decks like Eagle. Like we joked about Tiger King being a pushed card. Eagle feels like that because Eagle makes all of your fair old Fire Fist cards unfair.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about our last one. This card is very funny to me, just because of the way grammar works. So this is Peacock. Name is Kensei Kojansaku, Bright Flame Star, Hu Sen Peacock. Actually based off a character who in the water margin is a lady. She fought against them, but then, eventually joined up. And she uses a lasso and also a sword, so she's got a whip sword in this. The funny part is, hey, guys, I don't know if you know how peacocks work. Peacocks are only male. If it's the female, it's a peahen.
I think they just didn't want to say peahen.
Well, yeah, no, because that's not as memorable. But it's very funny. And she's even dressed up a little like a peacock, or maybe I don't know.
No,
we can stand a transmask sword wielding peacock.
We can stand our transmask brotherhood of the Fire Fist King.
It feels like she has to become that they had to become male identifying just to be part of the brotherhood.
Regardless,
maybe it is called Brotherhood, and actually it does. Yeah. It is still Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Peacock. So like, there's some funny vibes. This card has a gender. But, we're still having fun. Also, by the way,
I want to call her she because cards, I still feel like they call her brother.
I mean, I think you
still
can.
They call her brother.
I think you can because the character in the water margin is female. Like,
I dig the unneeded but nice absolute territory going on. Like it didn't need to happen, but I appreciate it.
Also, by the way, shocked that they did not censor this card, but they didn't. We've got full-blown belly button, armpit, and absolute territory.
Yeah,
and Konami's just like, who cares?
If anything, it feels like intentional because it feels like she's trying to be bold in how she presents herself.
Not only that, I believe we even have exposed hip, if that's what I'm seeing right.
Kind of. I think there's like opening in the back too.
Yeah. There's a little side window for the hip. Yeah.
I feel like part of it's because
the angle is so bad that it's hard to tell. But yeah.
I guess it's because it's bendable because she's like a sword dancer. She's got a whip sword.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we're taking jabs. It's a good design. Like we're taking jabs at the fact that Like the tier cards they censored the armpits and stuff. Like the most arbitrary of edits that no one.
Yeah, I don't know if
noted.
does the censorship department go on Twitter and like look for people like doing fucking awooga dog bark memes. First of all, if you do that, don't do that because half those people are faking. It's called irony.
Irony
I
is
just assume
dead
that people did not pay attention to Peacock because I'd stand a Peacock doing great work.
I have a very important question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you paused there.
I've been waiting for a moment. I just feel like people are too addicted to irony to the point where it's kind of pointless nowadays.
I mean, a little, but that's not really what we're here to discuss.
No, it's not a little. It's a lot. People need to stop being ironic because they just use it to excuse themselves.
This is a
that's a culture conversation that we're not here to have. Anyway, also shockingly, by the way, Peacock is a secret because Fist of the Gadgets was one of them all foil sets. The secret art filtering does nothing to obscure this card art at all. So again, I find it funny that like this made it past all the censorship department. I guess this came out in 2019, so like they're assuming that if you played Fire Fist when they came out in 2013, you're 5 years older. You have to be at least 18.
Look, you reached a point of maturity where you can look at this card and be normal. We're not gonna be we're gonna.
I think she looks cool.
Yeah,
It'd be cool to see her do like flips and shit.
Jokes aside, the design, there's not much to say about it. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Is it weird that I image all of the Brotherhood just do flips casually when they fight?
Probably not. No.
I can see I mean, we can say
Flips and spiral
Boar just rolls at you.
What I was going to bring up was that we call them fire formations over here, but in the OCG, they are technically called flame dance or fire dance. So yeah, I think that is implied. There is supposed to be some agility here. So Phoenix is your other Link too. She has the left arrow and the straight down arrow, so not the most optimal, but we're trying. Has 1,000 attack, is a Link too. She is the only in-archetype Link. You need exactly 2 Fire Fist monsters to do this. But while this card points to a Fire Fist monster, your opponent can't target this card for attacks. So again, the low attack stat probably doesn't matter. When this card declares an attack,
she has the awkward arrow, so she can always point at something.
Yes. When this card declares an attack, you can send a face-up fire formation you control to the graveyard. Target one monster your opponent controls. Place that opponent's monster in a zone this card points to and take control of it until the end phase, but it cannot declare an attack this turn. You can only use Peacock once per turn. So this is very funny.
Could you use that as material?
Yeah, you can use it. I mean, you have to do it in main phase too because it's when you declare an attack. But yes, this is a very funny method of removal. And I did mention before that the character in the water margin this is based off, she used a lasso and also like switched sides. So like
it feels like it, yeah.
Yeah. If you just want to use this to link climb, and you can't, maybe you get interrupted or something. If you have a Fire Fist to point to, she can still stick around. She's not attackable. But also when she attacks, you can just send a fire formation and like fucking snatch steal your change of heart your opponent. And then obviously you can go into a Link extension. This is a card that got way better with that Link 3 Promethean Princess. Because I'm pretty sure this plus the monster your opponent stole is all the mats you need.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
What's her name? He's a Promethean.
Yeah, it's Promethean Princess.
Yeah, 2 effect monsters.
Yeah. No,
it's not even fire. It's not like it's just 2 plus effect monsters.
It's just that when you summon her effect locks you into fire. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Again, this is a card that it's awkward because this is one of those things, right? Where I read this in some discussion of the ban list, right? With like Snatch Steal getting unhit. Like, if you wanted to run a deck that does nothing but take your opponent's monsters, you can run like 12 of those cards. Mind Control at 3, Brain Control at 3, Change of Heart is at least 1. It might be at 3 now, I don't know. You can run fucking 3 Triple Tack, which can also Change of Heart, So, like, that's not really that unique effect, but it's a very funny form of mid-battle removal to, just grab your opponent's monster and tuck them and just be like, all right, you, get out of here.
You just grab the opponent and rip, you're ripping the card in half because you're going to link it off.
And then, again, you can link it. Fire links are good.
Well,
there are good fire links.
A very funny thing you can do you can go into Breathing Fire Prince, and I think you just summon this card back because it's a fire monster.
Yeah.
And you just probably just set it up to where it's pointing to a Fire Fist monster, so you just have it set up for free next turn.
And then you're just ready to go into whatever. And
Yeah.
hell, I mean, we talked about how they don't have any like super big blowout cards on their own. Though again, they could make Final Sugma. Also, I feel like with that kind of tech, Peacock is getting you towards a realm where you can start setting up access code lines.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily the best thing to do with your deck. You do have a few locks that are Fire or Beast Warrior. But access code is the kind of generic extra deck punch this deck needs. You need the way to just close games, and unfortunately, Tiger King just negating your whole opponent's board or Kieran making them small doesn't actually close the game because there are responses that are not in the main monster zone.
Yeah, like the major problem is just like the Fire Fists can do so many things. Very little of it is proactive. It's all reactive or just passive in the sense of how Kieran went.
And you cannot use them to none of them says like, I mean, a couple of them say like send a guy, pop a guy, but those are all soft ones per turns. You know, none of them says like, I mean, I think one of their fire formations is like if you have 7 of these in your graveyard, blow up your whole opponent's life.
Yeah,
kill your opponent.
How many got left?
That was the last monster. I do want to talk about Fire Fortress atop Liang Peak.
We can bring up the one you just mentioned as well. Just like I'll just read the card. I'll just read the card.
You mentioned a Phoenix earlier. You called her a Phoenix by accident, or is there a Phoenix card that I'm missing?
No, there's not a Phoenix yet, actually. Peacock kind of looks like it, but there is no straight up Phoenix.
Oddly enough, I kind of wish they make I kind of want them to make more links. They're all ladies. Just kind of like is that the weird like the side theme of it.
I mean, that could be funny, especially if they did a pair as like maybe like a Link 1 that's only 1,000 attack, you know, something like that. You could just be cute.
But we have Ultimate Fire Formation Seito, which is it is not a continuous Fire Formation spell, but it's a Fire Formation. You can add it.
Yeah.
Banish 7 Fire Formation spell or trap cards from your graveyard. It's our Adelantado, baby.
Yeah.
Special summon as many Fire Fist monsters as possible from your graveyard. Then you get Fire Formation spell or trap cards directly from your deck, except Seito. Up to the number of monsters special summoned by this effect.
Okay, so yeah, even your big blowout, while that is very big to just fucking soul charge and reload your entire back row, that doesn't win the game.
What was the card? Well, was it Ice Jade? Or not Ice Jade? The polar bear archetype or whatever.
Ursa Arctic, yeah.
Ursa Arctic had that Banish 8. Yeah, it's Banish 8, win the game, but you have to Banish 8.
Yeah, you have to get them all in your graveyard.
Yeah,
so this is the card art for
setup, even though it's an insane crackback.
Yeah.
I wanted to briefly ask about the water margins. Like, how's the story about 112 characters work out?
Yeah.
I mean, there are plenty of stories with that many characters in this.
I guess it's more of just like I guess it's more about kind of reminds me of like old Hindu stories where it's mostly just descriptions of battles.
I mean, having not read the water margin, assuming it has the. It just has the overarching story where, like, yes, there are characters we're going to be focusing on, but in a Tolkien sense, in a George R. R. Martin sense, there are just so many characters in this space that some will not always get mentioned, but plenty of people are here and they're all doing their own things.
So Tensu is double summon. Tensen is the wiki compares it to Rush Recklessly. It's a continuous trap that says target a Beast Warrior gains 700 attack until the end of this turn. And also, all Beast Warriors you control gain 300 attack, so it's actually plus 1k. I'm talking about attack sets, don't fucking matter.
2 people here for like the one on the left, 3 tigers.
Tenken also has 300 as well.
Yes.
As Kaio, like the big trap continuous ones.
Yeah.
Give you the 300.
Tenken is the weird one because it's like you can only activate during main phase 1, but you can target a Beast Warrior you control, and it's negated, but it's unaffected, so it's like a forbidden. Gyokyo is target a set spell trap your opponent controls, and they are it's like Jing Zhenhu replica.
Yeah,
you can't use that one.
Like you Gyokyo, and they just you can't activate this. You can't mirror force me. This.
Yeah.
And
Kaio is piercing, but only during the turn it's activated.
and we have Ultimate Fire Mission Sento, which is just an Omni.
Yeah.
It's
Sinto is just your
it's an
opponent.
Omni that it's while you control a Fire Fist and Fire Formation spell trap, which sounds like a bad restriction. It's not.
Yeah.
Again, like we said, it's not.
Though I should point out, it is only a spell trap activation, not a monster activation, which is why Erlang is good.
So it's not even an Omni. Never mind.
No. That said, if you combine that with Erland, you have both, because they're both Omnis, or they're
You
both
have
negates.
negate potential.
So yeah, they're not. I feel like some of them could be spicier, but they've got all the tools they need. It's just like I said, they need the fire formation that becomes a Raigeki.
I guess definitely to phrase it, they're too fair.
Yeah, they're a little, at least by 2023 standards, they're too fair.
Yeah.
So
They're
just real quick to
reasonable
talk
with
about their field spell, Fire Fortress Top of Yang Peak, or Mountain Yang Tower of the Flame Heroes. This is always treated as a fire formation, even though it's a field spell, so it counts.
Yeah, you can set your field spell from
Yes.
the deck.
Uh,
It's like
Each time a Fire Fist monster is normal or special, put a Fire Fist counter on this card. It's one of those. Once per turn, soft once per turn, you can remove Fire Fist counters to activate one of these effects. 2 counters if your Beast Warrior attacks. It's Armades. Your opponent can't activate effects. 6, add a Beast Warrior from your deck to your hand, so it's just extra tanky copies.
what's
at
that?
6
What's
counters.
that last one, Omega?
Oh, 10. You can special summon a Beast Warrior from your deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So if you can get 10 summons, maybe over a couple turns, you can just fucking summon anything. Fuck you.
You can just whip out that Kieran that you're never actually going to synchro.
Yeah, you can
summon.
cheat out Kieran. You can cheat out Swan.
I don't think it counts as a synchro summon, unfortunately.
No.
But
Kieran doesn't get his on summon effect, but if you just want to get his attack modulation effect, you can just be like, boom. Yeah. So again, this is a card that this is a good field spell, because this gives me 6 Samurai support vibes with all the counters, right? Which is also, by the way, Fire Fist is not I don't think as go infinite as 6 Sams can, but you could summon a lot with Fire Fist.
Six Sams and Fire Fist, they're in this they're in the same league
Yeah.
of combos, but Six Samurai was the one that made it to the majors.
I think it's because Six Sam was really annoying because they were a warrior archetype and thus had access to Rongo Bongo,
And also
a curse upon his name.
Also, Gateway is from a time when we didn't have once per turn.
Yeah, Gateway is also just, hey, you want Pot of Greed? You want Pot of Greed. And they're like, meanwhile, Fire Fist's Pot of Greed is Snake, which is pitch 2, draw 1. So, yeah, but Fire Fortress is also just a good card to run.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, it's your extra copies
You would
of
always
tanky.
run this card because you only need the terraforming this because it's fire formation. You can set it.
Just fish it out.
So it's just another.
It can be your extra tanky. It can cheat out your guys. Or, hey, even if it's just the 2 effect, if you get to the battle phase, Armades-ing your opponent is not a bad thing.
Yeah. Again, Armades sound it sounds finicky, but if it comes up, you will almost always have 2 counters on this card. So if it need be. I do like that, even though I don't think Sato came out this late, but I like that the little constellation path is the same thing on the field spell. That's nice.
They made it kind of line up. They're both the Big Dipper. But yeah, Fire Fist, cool deck, lots of great themes. I don't know if we will remember Fire Kings got support because it was their time, because the OCG is doing this thing where they're retraining 10-year-old structure decks, right? So they got a structure deck, so they got a new structure deck. I don't know if Fire Fist will get that kind of acknowledgement, but it is about the right time for it. We are kind of going hard on Fire. Wouldn't mind seeing a couple more of these guys. And honestly,
I'm not surprised. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we ended up getting if we just end up getting another Fire Ritual monster, fusion monster. Because why not?
Yeah, and if those monsters had the right effects, that could definitely take this deck to proper rogue tier, actually seeing it at some weird places, in YCS combos and stuff. Get a couple of weird regional top cuts, and you're just like, Fire Fist, what the fuck?
Yeah, because Fire is reaching an interesting point of power level where
It's reaching.
It never really reached by itself, but it always felt like it could happen.
Is it reaching wind levels, or is it like earth levels of like being something?
I mean, well, it's more the sense of fire has always had insane generic combo pieces that allowed fire.
Fire's
to
always
get
had the
tops.
pieces. The problem is that they didn't have enough of them to bring like fire decks as a whole together. The way that like I think water definitely has. Wind is a little looser. Like there have been good wind decks, but mostly it's specific wind archetypes that play around with some stuff. You know, you can get some
Yeah, and,
wind
like,
shenanigans.
It's a similar case in fire, where like most of the fire decks that got tops like post rekindling, like yeah, they were playing rekindling, but it didn't really feel like it was just it. It didn't feel like it was allowing fire to be the best thing ever. It just happened to be a coincidental combo piece that allowed fire to do a little bit more.
But Fire, you know,
that archetype
Infernoble's gotten
ending.
new support. Fire Kings are getting new support, which is great. There's a lot of generic stuff coming up. We finally remembered to give Volcanics support. The Salad has always been the nth best deck, basically
Nth.
forever.
Yeah,
Like
It's
I
always
mean, I
been
used to
there.
joke about it being the third. That's not always true, but like whenever you run out of the best decks in a format, you should always add one more deck, and that's Salad. Like they're always back there. So
There's
like
always something there.
this is Fire's
and yeah.
coming up.
Oh, I'm looking at this OCG Solomon Great card. What the fuck is this?
We got some
What is it
funnies.
Code of Soul. Does it just name checks? I think okay. It just name checks Salomon Great
Yeah.
in the card. Bizarre. Anyways, yeah. Fire could be hitting. It could finally get that critical mass. Maybe we're all on cope. People will be pointing laughing at us in 6 months, but Fire has always had plenty of incredibly generic
Yeah.
cards.
Well, and they keep adding more. You know, Dia Bellstar and Snake Eyes. That's all Fire Engine, baby. Like
Yeah.
that's another fire package that goes in. Like it looks like we're coming up on it. That said, like the upcoming OCG set. Let me actually see if I can remember what it's called.
Yeah, it really feels like Konami is just daring people to break Fire.
Yeah. Like let's see. I think Phantom Nightmare just came out. That is the one that they were like, hey, you know what we need? U-Bell support. Also, they introduced, Goblin Bikers. That's not out over here yet, but will include a new Pyro archetype in the TCG. I don't think we know what that is yet. Yeah, Legacy of Destruction, that's the one with the new Gandora retrain on it. That looks like that's going to be, like, the peak, like, Legacy support shit, right? Like, that's the Gold Sarcophagus of Light, but they're including new whites. That's where all the new Ancient Gear shit that Loth has been trying out. That's where our new Light Sworn shit is.
I really like that there's one just called White Knight, or I guess I forget if it's actually like White Light or something, but it's like
White Sworn, I think is his name, yeah.
White Sworn.
But no, like that's we're brewing, we're cooking, and
Or in OCG it's Light Lord. 'Cause
yeah,
Light
I'm
Road.
I'm
Great.
I'm ready to get in there. Though that, I do want to say, they've announced the name of the next set after Legacy of Destruction. It has the most metal name ever. Its name is Infinite Forbidden.
Interesting.
The Infinite Forbidden.
What's
don't know the-
forbidden? Don't know. It's just, but all of it is
Infinite.
forever.
Yeah, but that's not coming out for another couple of months. But yeah, so we're like I said, we're cooking with gas.
I don't know how. I feel like they have to change that name for the TCG.
They
so it
might
makes
have
phonetic sense.
to change the grammar a little, but yeah, it's still
I might be just Forbidden of the Infinite or something,
they might.
or
Do we
Infinite of the
have
Forbidden,
infi-
which at least sounds more like a thing.
Do we have? I think we usually use Infinity over here. We could rearrange it to be Forbidden Infinity.
That actually sounds like something though.
Yeah.
It works. Forbidden
But yeah,
Infinity.
Yu-Gi-Oh's in I think actually, I know price-wise we always have these complaints whenever a really expensive engine comes out, but like with the ban list on both sides, I think Yu-Gi-Oh's in a really interesting place right now, and a lot of decks are cooking. But we've been going for over 3 hours. It is after daily reset in FGO. So I'm skedoodle on out of here. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to tune into Final Fantasy XIV tomorrow. That's still on.
And at some nebulous point in the future, probably some cube shit.
Yes,
We
definitely. We're vibing on the cube shit. I've got
we
so
might
much shit
take
to
we
try.
might take a FP off to just do a cube day.
We could do that. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Oh, actually, before I go, I should double check what our next archetype is. I think it's Adamancipator because we didn't do those yet.
We're gonna start doing rocks.
Yeah.
All in rocks,
actually, yeah, no,
brother.
it's Adamancipator. Yeah, because
Rock.
that's the other one in Eldritch. So yeah, we're going to talk about rocks and things that are not rocks anymore. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm sorry if I'm ending the episode abruptly, but you can get out of here.
I guess I'll just ask while we're here: will there be a block among the rocks?
Oh yes, well I feel like I have to mention Block Dragon while we're talking about
Okay.
Adamancipator.
Yeah.
I think I may have fielded this question before.
They're
yeah,
inseparable.
It is, yeah. As evidenced by the fact that once Block is banned, Adamancipator stopped getting tops. R.I.P. But yes, that's gonna be it for today. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.